Got carried away.
All right, what's going on, everybody? We're here in Bloomfield at Veritage for a special episode. I'm here sitting down with four great minds. Introduce yourself, guys. We're going to start with Jorge Martinez from The Exchange.
Jumpy, I represent The Exchange, FC, huge MLS fan. Looking forward to this season to get started. Here at Veritage is a great place for away games, Red Bull away games, any EPL game. I'm excited for what's about to start right now.
What's up, boys and girls? My name is Steve, also known as TNV Clothing. You can find me on Instagram. I sell retro soccer gear, NHL gear, pretty much anything sports related, as you can see here. And I've been a Metro Red Bull fan since 2005, so I'm excited for new things to come.
João with the crossover show, big Red Bull guy, big soccer guy. I'm excited for this year. Hopefully do a lot of content about Red Bull's MLS and help grow the game, grow the sport here. It's what it's all about.
And then
I'm Dan Rebain. I cover the team for Area Sports Network, so go over there, areasportsnetwork.com. You can follow me on X as well, PPT McBain, and we got a lot.
He's the legit guy.
We got a legit
guy.
We got a lot. We got a
You
lot
gotta
of
have a
news.
legit guy, and he is the legit guy.
We have a lot of news coming, so this is gonna be a fun year so far, guys.
Yep.
our Fabricio Romano. Yes, and my name is Christian from Southward. We're here with the stars. I mean, I'm blinded by how many big presents we have here. But
It might just be the light.
It might just be the light.
It might just be
It
the
might
light.
just be the light. But I'm excited to talk about our New York Red Bulls for the 2025 season. Obviously, we made it to the finals, but we know there's much more to do.
Yeah.
So the first topic that I want to bring here today is the people that are not going to be here with us for the next season. So departures. For you guys, who is the biggest or the most important player that we're going to miss this season?
I think the guys that aren't with the team are okay with not being on the team.
Who
Elias.
right?
Reyes quit on you on the final.
Ooh.
The guys that they're possibly talking about. We're hearing the JMI thing is a guy that I think is the only one if that does happen. But for the guys that are out already, I don't think anybody misses anything.
So we should start officially naming the people that are out, right?
Yeah.
So first one, Corey Burke. The contract terminated after 2 years with us.
Option decline.
Option decline. Thank you. That's what we have in here. Option decline.
Legit.
Then the second one was the defender, right?
Aiden O'Connell. Option declined as well. Draft pick from last year, first round pick. It just didn't pan out. He played Red Bull 2 for most of the year. Just wasn't a part of it. Struggled a bit at times. So just move on.
And I think the third one and the biggest one was Elias Manuel after that, right?
Yeah.
Elias Manuel traded to Real Salt Lake for a bunch of GAM, along with all of our draft picks from this year. So, Red Bull moving on from the draft, finally. So,
We just saw Philly do the same thing,
Yeah,
right? They
same
just traded
thing.
away their Philly just traded away all their picks, but I'm gonna give you just a little bit of pushback on the Reyes. Like, I know that he's probably not gonna go down in the MLS or the Red Bull lore as well, but I loved Reyes from the beginning. I think he was a very important center back. I think he brought some of that South American passion. You can criticize him for being a kind of a vulnerability for getting yellows and reds, but I think he provided a lot. I think we're going to miss a lot from him, and then especially letting go of Aiden as well. Like, he never really kind of got the chance. I don't know if there was something in training that they were like, you know what, this guy's just not good enough. But even as just a depth piece at that center back position, which is a position that we're now very vulnerable and we don't have much depth, because who do we got now? Noah, Sean,
and a guy we'll talk about later.
and guy that we picked up in Hap. But if we're playing a three-back, those are the three. One of them goes down. We could throw Dylan in there, but
So I think them bringing in Noah was for this. I've been telling him that I think Noah can be a 60 to 70 minute guy this year.
yeah.
Be a starter.
Easily.
100%.
He's young. He should be a
He's
60
good.
to 70 guy.
Good with the ball.
Does Noah start?
I think
Right now.
I think
He has to.
Here's the
He has
thing
to.
though. Last year in a four-back, I think Noah and Andres was our strongest two options. I think Sean is massive and he brings a lot of experience. And when he's on, he's on, and he's amazing. But I think that Reyes Noah partnership, we didn't see enough of those two together last year as I would have liked.
I think at the end of the day, I think it's a roster problem because MLS restrictions
That's
You know,
true
you
as
only
well.
get- you only get-
Unless you're Miami.
Unless you're Miami.
But
That's
but
why
like,
they changed the rule.
you only get 32 spots basically. So
I think
like
we're gonna
you
talk
kind of
about
have to
that,
like allocate certain positions. You know, you only get 3 center backs, 4 center backs. I mean, Red Bull does have a bunch of attackers, but that's what they've been struggling at. So they're trying to find who they're going to hit on. So I think we'll talk about this more when we get to the guys coming in. But you have Sean Nealis, Hack, and Ella. I think that's a good a trio to run if you're going to run 4 at the back. And if you go to a 3 at the back, then you'll have Dylan Nealis to go into that spot. So I think at the end of the day, it's just roster construction. What you allocate to each position.
But wasn't Andres Reyes our best defender in the team?
In the playoffs,
In the
sure.
playoffs.
Yeah.
But
Regular
every week
season.
he was due for a yellow. He was due for something reckless.
He should have gotten a red against Orlando too.
Every week.
But you kind of need that. I like the old school center back, South American passion. He's gonna make a strong tackle, and if it ends up being a yellow, then it's a yellow. But I think we need that. Like I think Sean provides a lot of experience, but I don't see him being like that feared guy, crazy guy at the back. Like I like my goalkeepers and my
He's
center
also
backs to
getting
be
old.
absolute lunatics.
Well, that's what worked.
He's 28.
He's 28.
Each center
Sean.
back kind of brought their own little personality to the team. So I feel like that's what was able to work well. Andreas had his style, and then as well as Sean Nealis and even Noah.
Yeah, and it could be a little reckless, but I think his athleticism was important, and I think he was the best defender in 2024. I think personally.
Especially that NYCFC playoff game, forget it. He was on one that night.
Magical.
100%.
So for that, Andreas, we thank you, Andreas. But
Thank you, but
sayonara.
All right, so now, Elias, what are you guys' thoughts? Because
I thought he needed to go.
I don't think we're ever being
hell no.
I do.
No,
he was the last person to go. Sorry, go ahead, Joe.
He missed a lot of chances too.
I
He was
thought
having a Dante for a little bit too.
He really does have a lot of potential. It's just like he could just never put it together when he was on the field. It's like
Consistently.
he's got the pace, he's got the hold-up play, but then when he was one-on-one with a keeper, he could just never. It could never click, and he could score. Like the amount of chances he'd have with a one-on-one keeper, and he'd try to shoot it, or he'd go around him and miss a touch, and it spoils the chance.
I think that's a mental curse, though.
Speaking of the one-on-one chances, one that just puts in my mind, I think it was the Orlando away game, where we were up a goal. He's got one-on-one with Galese, misses the shot. A couple of minutes later, they equalize 1-1. That's 2 points that you drop right there. And there's so many little points throughout the season where it's like those 2 points there, those 2 points there, those 2 points there. That at the end of the season is a difference of you traveling to LA or LA coming to RBA.
Yeah, of
You
course.
know what my thing is? That I don't think if you guys seeded somewhere else and had to play somewhere else, things might be different. I think that you guys. I bring up the example of when the Giants played the Patriots in the Super Bowl, and they were 16-0, and then they beat them in the Super Bowl. But they just saw each other a couple weeks ago. So when you guys saw Columbus at the end of the season, you guys played amazing. Lost the game, but played amazing. So you guys had a dress rehearsal to a team you were going to see a couple weeks later,
100%.
which was huge for you guys. I don't think if you're playing somebody else that the same thing goes the way that it did. I think where you seeded was where it worked because you ran into NYC, a team that beat you guys already twice, and we know it's difficult to beat it
Another
3
team we
times.
saw,
You know
though.
it wasn't gonna, so like.
I
think
see-
you
I see-
got
I see
a
what you're
little,
saying.
You know,
I see what
you're saying. Territory.
But you need that in order to win. You need these
Right.
little
You need that
breaks
luck.
to happen.
You need that luck.
in every sport.
Elias Manuel is interesting because last year, turning back the clock against Charlotte, going into that playing game.
Yeah, we're never beating Charlotte again. No,
Yeah,
no,
pretty
Elias,
much,
no,
he
no
was
goals
our
against
Charlotte FC killer.
Yeah.
So against Charlotte, we'll have to find
They're
out new ways to
celebrating.
score, I
They're
guess.
celebrating
But
down Charlotte.
otherwise, we'll miss him for those goals, and they'll have to be replaced by one of the younger guys. I'm talking Serge Goma, Julian Hall, maybe even someone else that we haven't spoken of comes into the fray and gets some of those goals. I mean, as much as those chances that he did miss, he did put away a couple nice goals, one against DC. I know I already mentioned the one against Charlotte. But yeah, those goals will have to be replaced. I just hope one of the youngsters is ready to do that.
Well, I think Elias is pretty fast. He can beat people one-on-one. The only problem is the finishing. But I think like between him and Dante, they were fighting for the worst finish of
I want to know
2024.
who missed more.
Yeah.
I genuinely want to know.
If we, all right, so
who
who?
will miss more?
Dante or
Because they
Elias?
both, I thought, missed a lot of
Well,
chances.
Dante played more, so
If we lose Dante, it would be bigger. He racked up a lot of assists. He had way more assists, double-digit assists than goals. I know that's not what we wanted from him.
But here's the thing: if
But
you look
it
at a
is
lot of the
4
Dante
against Miami.
assists, if you look at a lot of the Dante assists, well, 4 came one night against Miami, but a lot of them is just a bad touch that bounces off of him and just perfectly falls for Lewis.
Yep.
So it's not like he's looking for the assists. A lot of the times, like the assist kind of happens by accident, and again, you said a lot of luck has to kind of fall your way. But I feel like I just don't see Dante perfectly fitting into the way that we play, and I don't see Elias doing that neither. I think Chupo, who we're going to talk about in a little bit, like if the plan is to just cross the ball into the box, then we need that strong, tall, kind of big presence in there to be that guy. And I don't think neither Elias nor Dante kind of really fit that sort of guy that we're looking for up there.
What about you, Ben?
Well, I was gonna say, let's get to additions now since we're talking about Chupo. I mean,
I just want
I
to
think
say one thing about Dante.
yeah.
Dante was brought here to be the guy, and it didn't really work out.
Well,
But we saw shades of the guy
Yeah.
that he was supposed to be.
100%.
So going into this season, I think it's a very telling tale for him if he stays. What he could be for this club, like Lewis Morgan,
Yeah.
people counted him out. Bro, they changed the guy's number, comeback player of the year.
But,
If you could have a situation like that with
That's
Dante
true, that's
going
true.
into this season, and he's just an absolute baller, and it works out perfectly for everybody. But I don't think he wants to be here.
But I'll say this, like, if your expectations were for him to be the guy, you know, that's not him, because he's always played with another guy. Like, he's always been the secondary guy and helping that. Like, you saw that in Belgium. Like, he'd be a 15 and 15 guy. He helped produce, but he wasn't always the big goal scorer that he was. So if you're expecting him to bang in 20 goals or, you know, 15 goals in MLS, like, that was never going to happen unless you're going to have another guy next to him. That's why I thought if you keep him right now and you play him next to Chupo, I think that's his best case to be the guy that, you know, Red Bull bought him to be. So we'll see if he stays. We'll get to the rumors, but there's a lot of rumors about him going back to Belgium. So let's just move on to additions
But
right now.
real quick,
Yeah.
even that conversation of linking him with a Choupo-Moting, I could see that partnership thriving as well with Lewis on one side, Emile right behind him. But it comes down to the thing that I've been saying all along in Instagram comments and everywhere is the fact that he's a DP. I feel like if he wasn't
That's a good
if he
point.
wasn't a DP,
That's a great point.
if it was a homegrown striker putting in the performances and the numbers that he's putting up, he's getting lauded as like the next big thing to come out of the New York Red Bulls. But since he is a DP, carries a little bit of weight, comes down to roster construction, and we're basically at a point at this current time, the time that we're recording this, that we could have a Danny Olmo situation where even if he does stay, we might not even be able to register him, and he'll just be watching from the stands like us.
What were you gonna say? You were gonna say something.
Yeah. So I'm thinking, I'm like, you know, I think Dante needs another shot.
Ooh, okay.
So
Hot take.
only because of this, dude.
But we can't
Is this-
keep him. We can't keep him. That's the thing with the DP rule. We can't keep him.
Yeah.
It's impossible.
Yeah.
Unless
That's
we
the
get rid of
issue.
Carvalho.
They can play around.
No,
Yeah,
that's the
that-
issue. Is
we're
that
gonna get.
rule. Like
Yeah.
that's the issue.
You know?
Like, but it could work. Like I
Roster
think he could
construction
be a guy
again.
anywhere. Listen, anybody if he goes anywhere, they're getting a ball.
100%.
You know, but like if the rules were different, he wouldn't be somebody that I would think right
No.
away. You know, like I think you're gonna ball out next year.
If he was on Elias's contract, he's not leaving.
Oh, yeah, he's making 500K.
He's staying, and,
Yeah.
and we're linking him up with Chupo. It's just the constraints that the MLS has that we kind of have to deal with.
Yep.
And he's not staying for a massive pay cut. That's not going to
doesn't
happen.
happen.
You know what I mean?
That doesn't
So
happen.
come on.
Well, I'm just gonna answer the question, and I'm going to say that Elias Manuel is a player that you want to have on the team. And if you really think about it, this guy is gonna be Chicho Arango's replacement over there in RSL. If you really think about it. Or maybe
They'll have to deal with that.
so they see something in him, and I saw something in him that it was worth for him
Ray Charles saw
to
something.
keep him on the to keep him on the bench. But I also believe that the biggest loss for 2025 is Andres Reyes between those two.
100%.
I agree. I agree with that.
Agree?
Yeah.
Undoubtedly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, 100%.
No, and we'll see what happens with JMI, but I would say
Yeah.
at this exact
Sure,
moment.
not yet,
Yeah.
at this exact
At
moment.
this exact moment, yeah. But
Yeah.
if this thing with JMI happens, that's like a franchise thing that, like, dude, this guy is like a baby here, like, you know, like it's a little
grew up.
different.
In terms of culture, I think so. In terms of on the field, I don't think so. I don't think J-My
He
on
held it
the
down last
field
year.
is going to be that much of a miss. I know it's a hot take within Red Bull fandom, and we love him because he's our guy and he grew up here. I think that it's not going to be that much of a step down as long as we go get a Marcelo. I don't know.
I always say that too.
No, Marcelo, the
Chilean.
Chilean.
He just wants to be there.
I always tell him, I'm like, dude,
Imagine.
Dude, I tell him, like, dude, that's a guy. Whenever it comes up, I'm like, dude, how aren't teams picking up Marcelo or Sergio
I
Ramos?
think-
Right?
Well, Sergio Ramos, I don't know, man. He hasn't
Dude,
even played for a
you
year
know
and a half
what? You
or
know
something.
what? Dude, I mean, this is crazy, and this is gonna be like a bullshit
They want
thing.
bread.
But no, I get that. But like, if you have a Sergio Ramos, right? Come here for a year, and you get to teach a Noah who's a fucking baby still
Uh-huh.
to be a savage on and off the field, dude. You're gonna build a guy.
Yeah,
that's
but
just-
how much are you
that's-
paying him though? Is he going to be a DP?
Right, exactly.
He's
That's
not.
the
He's not
fucking
coming
rule,
for
the
less than a
fucking
DP.
rule.
You know what I mean?
And that's a good segue because it brings us to who we brought for 2025, which is Alexander Hack.
Yeah.
What are
dig
your
it.
thoughts on this
I
player?
dig it.
31 years old, coming from the Saudi league,
Free agent.
free agent, no transfer fee.
I'll start here. I think.
Yeah, go ahead, man.
You know, replacing him with Rez, I think that's a fine replacement. You know, he'll probably be making just a bit more on salary wise. But you bring in a guy with all that experience in the Bundesliga. You know, to play next to probably Sean Nealis to start, and then to teach a guy like Noah, like you said. I mean, I think that's a bargain of a deal. You know, I think he's still got game left in him, and we'll see what he does. But I think his connection with Sandro,
There you
he's
go.
already coached him. I think, you know, that's a big deal right there. So, you know, I like that. I like that deal.
Yeah.
I mean, how can you not love it? I mean, that's a clear replacement for Reyes. We needed another center back. He's tall, he's burly, he has that experience, like you said. So, and you know, it falls in that line of like the German, you know, little Swedish thing that we got going on with the team right now. So I think he'll fit in seamlessly, and that's what we need. We don't need someone who's gonna maybe need a few games to get under their belt, like Carballo. We need someone to come in and hit the ground running. So I think Hack is a great signing.
Is
so.
he gonna be a starter?
I think so.
100%.
Yeah, I think he'll be a
Sean
rotating.
Lewis is gonna sit down.
I think he'll be a rotating
Or Noah.
starter
I think Noah's
throughout the
down.
season. There's a lot of injuries, a lot of knocks that come up
Yeah,
and down,
because-
so we'll see him feature a few times.
We already saw it last year. Like Noah struggled at times defensively in certain situations.
He's a baby.
But that's the point. You know, you're able to go put a
Wait,
starting
hold
center
on.
back duo.
Hold on.
of
He
Sean
had two
Nealis
full
and
seasons
Alexander.
with Malmo. There's
But-
no way he's a
no,
baby.
no, but-
He's already
but remember,
seasoned.
No,
Alexander-
he's 22 though. You know what I mean? And it was his first
Alexander Hack
year.
is a left-footed player as well.
Well,
So you can ball on the left side.
Well, first you got to decide if we're playing two center backs or three,
It's
right? 'Cause
probably two.
that's always the.
I think we'll start at 2, and then if you need to like be flexible and you know a certain situation calls for 3 at the back, then easy. You can put a Noah Elliott in or a Dylan Nealis. I think this type of signing gives the team flexibility.
Yeah,
What was
I agree.
What was the 3 words that they said that they wanted players to sign this year?
Quality, experience,
Yeah.
and what was the third one?
I forget. I
forgot.
was hoping you remember
He
the
gets 2
three.
already.
Quality and experience. I think that the Noah Hack, Alexander Hack signing is perfect. Again, the comfortability with Sandro, them knowing each other. Sandro knows how to get what he wants out of him. He knows what he's going to bring. He's going to bring that experience. He's going to bring that over. I think it's a 10 out of 10 signing.
Ooh.
I think that
And the signing just it makes Noah LA work even harder. You
100%.
know that a guy like this is coming in to take his spot.
and how
like,
how tall is he?
6'4".
6'4".
like
We
you
have
said.
Noah Isla, who's also like 6'3".
Yeah,
we put
like-
those two in the back for corners, for everything, for.
So I think
it's perfect.
100%. When that happened, I said to myself, the Red Bull are really out here not bullshitting the people.
Oh, 100%.
anymore. So that was the biggest win. When they've made a move, everybody can start to be like, all right, it's serious. Like, we went to a press conference last year and they're talking about, okay, we're not taking the first round anymore. We want this. We're going to get a new coach. We're going to make this happen. And they're sticking to their word. So even if these things don't work out, they showed you that they had a little bit of balls,
Yeah.
which is a home run. But I think that you can't keep going back to the well. Like, you have to start to venture out. Maybe South America, maybe Central America. You know, I don't think it has to just strictly be German, the whole fucking
I
German
see where you're
system.
going.
Yeah,
I see
yeah.
where you're going.
Like, I don't think it has to be that route. I don't. And, you know, it could create a lot of nepotism. you know, within the team, because he has a guy that they know each other. There's a relationship there. He might treat him different than he treats other people. Like, I don't know, but I'm just saying, like, it could create situations like that.
Well, you bring a good point that Sandro's trying to build his own team, and I think when you're doing that, I think it's positive. I think you're building a team with people that you can
got
trust.
to give him his opportunity to build his team.
And I think that's normal as well. I feel like you say there could be some sort of nepotism. You could treat him a little bit differently. I mean, I think, you know, even just on your day-to-day, we treat, you know, people that we've known for a while a bit better or a bit different. But I don't think it's going to be a negative per se. I think Hack is going to come in knowing what Sandro wants. Sandro, like, he can be the voice between Sandro and the guys in the locker room. I think that familiarity, more often than not, provides for positive things both in the locker room and on the pitch.
Especially in those tough days when they were missing Emil Forsberg for those couple of months. You know, they were just missing that veteran type leadership on the field. Like, yes, obviously they had Sean Nealis on the field, but, like, you know, bringing another guy like that to kind of take that burden off those type of guys like a Sean Nealis or Emil Forsberg. He could take some of that reins onto his own shoulders. He's got that experience, and I just feel like it's a win-win. Like, it's a free agent deal. Like, you know, they didn't have to go sign him for a multi-million-dollar deal. He's got that experience. I think, you know, they're doing what they said they were going to do.
And even with Emil, I feel like you see that leadership on the pitch so much. After the season, I was kind of doing a little recap, and I was looking at points without Emil on the pitch and points with.
Dramatic.
It was like 2.3 points per game when Emil was playing, and like 1 point something.
We struggled.
They were a top three
when he
team
wasn't
when
playing.
Emil played.
And he's
A
and he's
million percent.
Top 4. Really?
And that's without.
We should have got a home
and
game.
that's without consistent strikers.
yeah.
I'm gonna tell you, he didn't look
Yeah.
100%.
He didn't look 100%, and it wasn't like a massive goal scorer. It's not like he's
banging in every
he's
goal.
scored.
He's got that aura.
Yeah, exactly.
So, like,
You just know that he's on the pitch. We got a
wherever
chance to
they're
win.
moving,
Right.
you're watching.
Yeah.
It's like fucking Messi.
And you know what I like? And you know what I like?
Everybody, that guy's just literally
He's our
looking
Messi.
around.
He's our Swedish Messi.
Yes, he's just
We'll
looking
take
at
that.
the sky, right? He's just like looking around in the
A
sky.
Swedish Messi.
And then when things start to go, then he starts moving. Everybody's like, oh shit. But that's what it is when you have a guy like that on your team. People start to. It makes things easier for everybody.
And you know what I like now? Up top, we have that veteran presence experience in Choupo-Moting. In the middle,
just about to go there.
we have that experience, same thing with Emil. And then now at the back, we have Hack, like top to bottom.
Yeah.
Hack could coach up the defenders. Emil coaches up the midfielders. Chupo coaches up. Why not us? Why not now?
I just have a problem. I don't see a partnership in the defense with Sean Nealis and Alexander Hack.
Why?
Because of age.
Yeah.
No, honestly, I mean, I know
because
experience.
You're 100%. I always think the whole generational thing, but you sometimes need the younger guy. Hopefully, will be like, you know what? I'm a baby. I gotta learn, right? This
Okay.
Is what you do.
Yeah.
You
But
know,
again, that's the whole point. You know, this move pushes Noah LA to get better.
Yes.
Yeah.
I agree.
I spoke
Iron
to-
sharpens iron.
to Coach Dos Santos from LA when Chiellini was on the team.
Yeah.
And he was saying that there's a kid in that system that played the same position as Chiellini.
Jalen Neal.
And that he went to him and was like, listen, you should follow him around. Watch how he eats.
Right.
Watch what time he gets here. Watch what time he leaves. Ask him what he's doing to recover. You have somebody who's an absolute savage globally to the world, to the game, won a ton of stuff. You should be. I don't
100%.
think that you need somebody to push these younger people.
Yeah.
But I think you need somebody to do that for them and show them, like, listen, you got somebody here that's gonna fucking take your game to the next level.
Yeah.
Just follow him around. Do what he does.
Leadership
Eat the
was
way
the third
he
one.
eats. You know?
Yeah.
Come on, man.
We kind of have to see how it pans out. We really don't know. It's all kind of speculation. So what pairing will be our best pairing?
We don't know.
And here's the thing as well, like, it's going to take Noah's initiative to want to go under Hack's wing. You know what I mean? Like, you can be like, he's bringing all this experience, watch what he eats, watch what he does, but it's going to be on Noah, you know, to take that opportunity and be like, you know what, I could learn a lot here. And we had him on the podcast yesterday, talking to him. He said he hasn't talked to him yet, but he seems really, really excited to have him in the building, to have the chance to be able to learn from people like that. He said that Forsberg being there, he said that, I asked him, is Forsberg sort of like the dad of the group, or does it just become another one of like the young guys? He said Forsberg is in there, just another one of the guys talking it up with Daniel, talking. It seems like the locker room is like just pristine, and like it seems like the environment in there is really, really good. So I think that Hack and Chupo are just going to keep on building. And you mentioned the front office earlier. You know, a lot of us Red Bull fans have been very critical of the front office for years and years and years, and deservingly so. You know, let's not forget that earlier this season, or this past season, we were holding up TIFOs in the South Ward saying not good enough.
Yep.
And now, you know, the way that they handled this offseason, I feel like the run showed them that, hey, if you invest just a little bit, we actually can do something here. We have a good base here. They went out and did that. They took care of the fans, traveling to Orlando, traveling to LA. Yep. I think that this club is probably in the best position right now that it's been at in years.
Yeah.
Years.
That's huge.
Because for so long we were just lost. Yeah. And now it seems like there's a real buy-in, and I'm excited.
There's a buy-in from the fans
excited.
too.
Yeah.
Slowly, I feel like the fans are starting to buy in more and more, and hopefully the Red Bulls can help more fans keep coming out by signing more players, bringing in a striker like the Polish kid. We can bring out
Victor Bogac, yeah.
Victor Bogac. So I'm excited to see. I want more people showing up to the stadium. I think there should be a reason why, and not to mention
only when Messi's here.
Yeah. And I'm sorry, not Red Bull Arena, SI Stadium.
Oh, Sports Illustrated Stadium.
Well,
Yeah.
So it's
we'll have to get used to
Red
that.
Bull Arena. It's
Well,
Red Bull Arena.
let's get to the strikers. You know, Chupa Moteng,
Okay.
Victor Bogac.
Let's bring them up.
Polish, you gotta tell us.
I mean,
Yeah, how do you feel?
know, he's in the second division, obviously, you know, but he's a big name. Like, you know, Juve was after him.
Yes.
Atalanta was after him. You know,
Yeah.
these big Italian clubs are after him, and obviously we almost signed him in the summer, but you know,
Fell through.
good on him. He was like, I don't think I'm ready. You know, I would rather have you say you're not ready than go out there and fail.
Yep.
Obviously, you know, his goal record hasn't been the best, but like, you know, again, in the Polish second division, he's one of the hottest Polish, you know, young strikers in the system. I think bringing him in, you know, playing under a guy like Choupo-Moting is going to be very beneficial for him, and he's not going to be forced to go start right away. I think that's the biggest thing with Red Bull in the past couple of years. They've signed like younger guys and then forced them into the starting 11. You know, bringing a guy like Choupo-Moting to take that burden off of him, and he could just learn, you know,
That's a good point.
improve his game each and every day at the facility under a guy like that. I think that's going to be huge for him. And you know, he's 6'4", he's got pace. I mean, I saw a comment from a fan out in Poland that watches his game. He said he's got the same build as Holland. Not the production of
Holland,
Not the
baby.
production
Oh,
of
wait.
but like he's got that speed, he's got that hold up game.
It got me
he's got
excited
that
here.
ability.
Well,
He's got everything. He's got all the tools to be a really good striker.
I still have Patrick Klimala PTSD.
I
still got-
I'll say this, but like Patrick Kamala never played with Emil Forsberg.
Bro, that
Or
was a
Choupo-Moting.
dog, bro. That was a
So,
dog, bro.
We'll have to,
Yeah,
we'll have to
bro.
see. But I've liked what I've seen clips wise on Bogac. He's got that pace. He's got the aerial ability. He's left-footed as well. So another lefty coming in for Red Bull that's lacked left-footed players. So I like the signing. We'll have to see what he becomes, because obviously, you know, he could fail. But like, I like what they're doing here. They're identifying players that not everybody's looking at. Obviously, Juve was looking at him, but he picked Red Bull over Juve. So
I think we got to give guys time too.
Yeah,
I feel like
exactly.
nowadays it's like you want instant production. Like
But I think at this level, that's what you have to get.
Yeah. The
And that's
standard
special.
is high.
Yeah, dude, you just left the final. You can't come in here and be a fucking dog.
you're right.
Yeah.
But
You gotta try to win it.
I'll tell you this.
Back there.
But if you alienate a guy as soon as he gets here, you know what I mean? Like, we have to give guys a little bit of leeway. I understand it with Dante because he's a DP. Again, I keep going back to
and
that.
he was already
but
older. Like he was already
even like
24.
Elias, we're tossing him under the bridge and this and that. Like, I feel like we got to give guys time. You can't expect guys to pull up. You know, he's leaving Poland for the first time probably in his
whole
life.
life,
He's
yeah.
coming out there. We got to.
Newark.
Yeah, he's coming in.
He has no idea what he's doing.
Hey, there's some good Polish spots around here, so I think he'll feel right
What
now.
across the street we just found out.
You got to take him out for some pierogies. Welcome him in here. You know what I mean?
He's going to Newark. First spot is Newark. What a rude awakening.
What's the return flight?
Hey,
This is New York.
which way's Times Square over here? I want to go see.
But they brought him. They convinced him, because they brought him over in November while he was playing. Like they brought him over, you know, convinced him about the project. So I think he's up for the fight. Obviously, he's down to learn, and I think him again under Choupo-Moting, who's got I didn't know that. He's been playing pro since 2007. So
Now,
like he
Bogarts?
no.
I was about to say, how old is this guy?
Bogarts was 3 years old when Choupo-Moting made his debut.
How old is this guy, man? I thought we were getting a youngster.
I think, learning under a guy that's played at Bayern Munich, scored goals, played at PSG. I
Totally
think,
different contrast.
He's got the avenue.
I'm genuinely like, who's your out-and-out starting striker? I know you're gonna say Choupo, but
No,
do
hold
you
on.
think he's
No,
gonna
we'll get to
start?
that. We'll get to that.
30 games?
Real quick.
Yeah.
We've been talking a lot
He did for
about.
Bayern 2 years ago.
We've been talking a lot about Choupo. What do we expect
That's
that
a
we're
good point.
getting from Choupo at this point?
Who's the goal scorer?
He hasn't played for half a
I
year,
think
right?
you have a guy who is going to get the same chances but finish. So you know how we're saying Dante had all those chances and missed. Elias had a ton of chances and missed.
Well,
you're getting a guy who is going
He will
to
not
finish.
miss.
How much pace does
But-
Choupo-Moting
but-
have compared to Van Zier
That's-
or Manuel?
yeah.
But also,
Those guys are really
hold on,
speedy guys.
100%. But I think that a lot of the chances that were missed were chances that guys with no legs were going to fucking make.
Yeah,
that's true.
In
You know?
the
So
six,
this guy's a guy
off
who
a
is
half
not going
volley.
to miss.
Yeah.
And a lot of it, we don't even need speed. A lot of it, so much of being a striker and a successful striker is positioning.
Positioning.
Yeah, you have to put yourself in those spaces. But are we expecting Choupo every game starter 90 minutes?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I don't think so.
No,
There's
absolutely
way.
not.
He's too old.
At this point in his
I'm saying-
career,
He's gonna be 36.
he hasn't played. I don't remember the
Right?
last time.
65, 70.
Yes.
65, 70.
Hey, I'm saying,
I'm happy with 65,
if he
70
can
every day.
start high 20s, like 28 games this year, I'll take that.
Okay.
Like,
There's a lot of
That's
games
fair.
too this
yeah, there's
year.
a lot of
Yeah.
games,
Yeah.
Between Leagues Cup and whatever other
The US Open
competition.
Cup is back, right?
But I don't know if
We're
Red Bull's
not
gonna
playing in that
participate.
though.
No, I
Well, we don't know yet.
But we don't know yet. But I read somewhere that they are.
They might.
That we might. It could be. We don't know yet.
I read
It could be.
somewhere that they're trying to
Bring it back.
take
But
back
the games
what
that
the bullshit
Choupo
they did
doesn't
last
play,
year.
that's Bogash's opportunity.
There
now.
you go.
Go show what you've learned under Choupo and take
Yeah.
that opportunity.
No, but you know what? Here comes the same problem.
And Julian Hall as well. We just can't forget about Julian.
Yeah,
He's
we'll
gonna
get to
his,
Julian. We'll
he's
get
gonna
to
get his
Julian.
opportunities too.
I talked to some guys about Julian, and they both said the same. Like, dude, he's still a boy.
16.
Yeah,
100%.
16.
He's
Like-
turning 17 in March.
No,
Yeah.
I get,
Yeah.
but like even like his body, like dude, imagine
You
in
need to
practice
wait.
having to go up against a Corey Burke.
Oh yeah.
Come on, no, you know what I mean? You know what I mean?
You're not wrong. Yeah.
So
Again,
when
Get
you go up
bodied,
there,
yeah.
and you're like, come on.
He's getting
But
bodied.
still a boy.
but again, like he said, it's just about positioning. If he can learn positions on the field that he can take advantage of,
He
I
doesn't-
mean, you
yeah.
can, you
But
can
now-
succeed as a 17.
No, it is wild. Julian Hall scored some big goals this past season.
One
He had,
right away.
he had a real nice one at Red Bull Arena where he found a little
Yeah.
acre of space, and that's what you said. It's all it really takes. He's not really bodying, he's not beating anyone with speed, but he knows how to get that half yard of space and then shoot it on that and get it on goal. And then he got his goal in Montreal as well. That was
Yep.
nice.
That was a good goal.
So he seems
Important.
like a real opportunist. So there's a lot to see there. A lot of
Big
potential.
potential.
And
Big
as well
potential.
and as well as Serge Goma. I know
Slowly, yeah.
Goma is more of a winger, but we saw him, I feel like 2 years ago up top as,
If he
as
can be
that,
healthy-
as that
if
speedy
If he
option.
can be healthy, that's going to be a.
That's the problem. That's the problem.
Obviously-
my white horse.
And now here's the thing, because now we're looking at a situation where we're bringing in Choupo. We don't know how many minutes he can give us, if he can hopefully stay healthy at his
Yes.
age and all that. Then what do we have behind him? Bogox, who is sort of unproven.
Yes.
First time in the States.
And then a 16-year-old, and that's it.
Yeah.
And then if you want to throw
we have-
Surge in there, I don't
Yes,
know if he'd be
yes.
a striker or not.
I think Serge is going to be the guy. A guy. Not the guy. A guy. He has to be.
This has got to be his year.
This has to be.
It's
his
been
year.
too long. It's been 3 years since
This
we're
is the
waiting
one.
for him to
This
pop up.
has to be the one.
But they did re-sign him last year.
I know, but I think he has to be.
Take that next step. He's got to take a step
Yeah,
this year.
yeah.
He
God
has to.
forbid he's injured again.
Oh, it's a dub.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
You can't. It's
Surge,
been
we
3,
need
4
you, buddy.
years.
We need you this year, buddy.
We need him. Now, the only problem. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No, I was gonna make a joke. I said
I want to hear it.
I want to see him less walking up and down the corridor when I'm going to buy my beer. And
Yeah,
more.
Surge Goma, we need you on the field.
Him and Curtis O'Forty, I'll give props to those two guys. They're at every single game, smile on their faces.
Yeah, they have their families.
At least they're there, and I respect them for
Their
that.
family's always there. They're always
Yeah.
at Red Bull 2 games.
Always,
so
I always see them walking.
they are Red Bull.
What about Curtis as well, though? Because
Hold on. We'll get to that. To the
Okay,
starting
okay,
11.
okay.
But
Go next.
one of the biggest problems that I heard from fans is that they didn't like that Choupo-Moting is coming here as a DP, and that's the biggest issue.
You're not bringing him over here. He's not leaving where he was at.
Right.
Exactly.
He's posted up playing basketball at the Bayern Munich facility last week on his Instagram story. You're making a move to Newark, New Jersey, Harrison, New Jersey, Hobo.
So we had to do it.
You think
That's
he's
what
gonna come
had
over?
to-
You think he's gonna come
We
over?
had to do it.
Come on.
Okay.
You gotta
Okay.
give him DP. You gotta give him double DP money, bro. You
Double
Hey, yo.
Hey, my bad. My bad.
How much do you think we're making back off of him on jersey sales? Do you think that we're going to see a lot of Choupo-Moting jerseys in the stadium?
If
I'm
he
interested.
I don't think
If
we
it's
see
scored.
anybody jerseys in the
Yeah, we
And
see-
if they are, they're blank.
We see Boca Juniors.
Hey,
we see.
Messi, I'm like, dude, Messi
If
was
he's
here like a
scoring,
month
I'll
ago.
say if he starts scoring right away,
Boca.
Yeah.
you'll see
trying to think
some
what I've
jerseys.
seen.
Yeah, I think so.
So how
You'll-
many
you'll
goals
see-
can
you'll
he
see
score a year?
Barcelona, Madrid, all the.
I saw
How many?
Ronaldo,
Like 15
Messi,
to 20? That's my expectation.
Yeah.
That's a big number.
In all comps?
15
15
to
to 20?
20 goals
Jerseys?
per year.
Oh. I thought you said that is still in the jerseys. I'm like,
What's your number?
You put the exchange on the back and you can sell 15
That's
of those.
it, that's it. What's your number? How many goals can this guy, Eric Maxime Choupo-Moting, bring?
Eric Maxime Choupo-Moting.
I would like to say a similar number, 15 to a dub.
That's crazy. We never
But
Why
had
is
that's
that.
a
that
lot.
crazy?
Because we
That's a
haven't seen
lot.
that in a while since Bradley
But
Wright
that's a
Phillips.
lot.
Yeah, we haven't.
But again, you could have a guy who's not missing those chances and creating
Okay.
his chances that could do that.
I'm gonna say Choupo-Moting will be the Golden Boot winner for this season. I'm telling you.
You're crazy. I'm a Rebels fan, but you're
He
crazy.
will. Who was it last year?
Who did win?
Oh, yeah, who did
Benteke.
win? Oh, Benteke, yeah.
Oh,
sorry.
You look at
Oh,
player
Mr. Header.
profiles.
Oh yeah.
They're not
Good
too
point.
far off.
I'd say Chupo's better.
Benteke and Choupo, they're not
I'd say
too
Choupo.
far off player
A
wise.
better player.
You could say that
Individually,
Choupo even
Choupo's
has
better
more
than him.
experience.
Yeah.
I think
More
that
technical.
he could be a Golden Boot winner if we see him every game. If we,
And
Stays
Benteke
healthy.
didn't even
Stays-
play all the games, by the way.
Not even
Benteke-
every game for 65. Don't do any more. You can't do any more.
How old is Benteke?
you don't
Right?
Like mid-30s.
you don't think Choupo-Moting,
90?
you don't think
Hey,
he
bro,
can
he
come
did
to
it
the
2 years
MLS?
ago for Bayern Munich.
You don't think he could come to
Before
the
he got
MLS
injured.
and
He
score
was
against the New
replacing
England
Lewandowski.
Revolution?
Yeah.
He was replacing Lewandowski.
Remember, he replaced Lewandowski for that 1 year before they got Kane, and he was scoring goals.
Yeah.
Until he got hurt. That was the
Well,
only
then
thing.
he got hurt, but
So,
like
Choupo, stay healthy. Things need to go our way this year. We need him healthy for the playoffs too. So we can't have
Ooh,
him
good point.
have him score all these goals and then we waltz into the playoffs with a Victor Bosgaard,
January 14th.
rookie striker.
That's a great point.
January 14th. You're gonna play this back at the end of the season.
307.
Choupo-Moting, Golden Boot winner. Congratulations, brother.
Well, Steve, you didn't see your
Yeah,
number.
we'll take
How many
it.
goals?
I like it.
Realistically,
I like it,
Clip it and ship it.
I'd say he gets 12.
I
12
like
goals.
that.
That's
I
a
agree
safe
with that.
number.
12 goals
Safe.
for a DP.
for a DP.
Look, this is.
Garcia
we're
promised
talking about
15,
We're
and he
talking
doesn't
about-
have 15 in 2 years.
But he showed up in the playoffs when they're fucking counting.
Yep.
That's the best part about this fucking league. You could be
Yep.
amazing, you're going into the playoffs, don't fucking matter.
So let's just not
New
play.
season.
It's a
cup
New
competition.
season.
That's true.
It's such a home run for every team.
You know one thing?
With that as well. I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
With that as well, what pissed me off? Obviously, I liked it, right? But the playoffs come around. Emil Forsberg hops in front of that camera and says, "Fuck it, why can't we?" It was my rally cry. Why not us? Why not now? The amount of togetherness that I saw in that group, the amount of putting in that little extra effort, putting in, that little tackle that's going to make it work. Cam Harper, that tackle that he had in the semifinals against Orlando, 0-0 game. The guy gets past Sean, the guy gets past Dylan, and then Cam comes flying in with a slide tackle to say, if we can, anybody on the team is watching this, if we can have that sense of togetherness, that sense of purpose for a full season, nobody can beat us. Nobody can beat us. The way that we were playing, the togetherness, all that, and I get a lot of that comes with
Ready
the
to go on the
intensity
field, man.
of the playoffs. But if we can hold that for a period of time, like, go out there and drop your fucking nuts. You're the Eastern Conference champion. Everybody wants to be where you were. We're the guys. We have the targets on our back. If we play together and we have that unity in that group, we're unstoppable.
But I think that
Unstoppable.
happens with every team in the playoffs. I think I
think so.
I said to somebody on the other side of the river, NYC, they had a little bit of a tough patch, right? And then they won 7-9 after they got into that fight with Toronto the first time. You need little moments that's going to bring you all.
Yeah.
Right.
After you knock down, you have your David and Goliath moment against Columbus. You can't help but to believe in each other.
Yeah.
Yes.
I don't think that's there regularly in the season because you know that you just got to get to the playoffs. You just got to get to the playoffs. That's it. Like
It can be there though. It can
It's
be.
a little bit
set
un-
that
it-
set that as a standard.
The
Here's
only
my
thing-
take,
It's a little
though. Go ahead.
unsustainable. That's the only little
Yes,
thing. It's
yes.
a little unsustainable, and then
I don't
with
think so.
people coming in and out of the lineup, like a Forsberg, so he's here one moment, he wasn't there for a large part in the summer. It loses its, message a little bit, and then he comes back heroically and ignites us again. But that, just getting into the cup competition, man, I agree. It's hard to sustain that.
But you have to be a top 3 or top 4 team in the East to win this tournament.
Yeah.
That's my take.
Which we were before Emil.
Yes.
Went down.
Perfect.
So props for that.
Yes, and
But I
Wait,
agree.
Wait, hold on. If we're going to give props, you got to give props to Sandro. He held that. You guys had like 74 draws, and you ended up in the final. No, seriously.
Oh,
yeah,
100%.
yeah.
Right? Like Sandro did his job.
Hey, his
Yes.
first year as well.
Yeah,
No
he did
one's
his job.
He
Like,
basically took the same roster from the year before and just added like Emil Forsberg and Noel.
he did something
Yeah.
right
That was it.
because you guys got there with more draws, bro.
Yeah.
Dylan
than a little
Nealis
bit.
became. By the way, we can get up on this
about
topic, but Dylan Nealis for me was the MVP of the year of the season for this club. For me, Dylan Nealis, his
Underrated.
level.
Very
I thought
very
if I had
underrated
to,
play.
Mine was Harper. I think Harper
Up there.
had
He's up
big
there.
balls this year.
He's up there.
Another guy, Edelman, he showed big balls, especially after not getting called up for the Olympic team.
Yeah.
So I know he had a little bit of a chip on his shoulder.
And if he does again, because he didn't get called up this time neither. You saw what he posted on his
Exactly.
story.
Yeah.
He said, "I don't
Yeah.
get it." And with Cam too, I feel like we're missing a lot. Having Cam in sort of a fullback position, I think he could provide a lot to the attack that we haven't seen yet. I think Cam has a lot of attacking prowess
Yes.
that we have not yet tapped into. We've seen a couple of, he scored that
He always
banger
gets injured
against
too, so
NYCFC.
he's another one.
Yeah, the whole team gets injured. We crawled to the final, literally crawled to the
everybody-
final.
If they all get
Yeah.
injured, we're going out there.
Yeah.
That's 5.
So
Now
now
go, baby.
I need to bring the next topic because I
Yeah.
feel like a lot of fans are 50-50 on this one, but the transfer rumors. And Felipe Carvalho is a guy, I know you feel a certain way towards him. So if he wants to leave, wants to go back to play for Uruguay, we should just let him go.
See, no. I like I said, if I said before, like a guy like that, the MLS has to not let these situations happen. This is a perfect example. This is a guy where he made a great name for himself for people who watch in the playoffs, so people now know who he is. To let him leave on that side of things, with what MLS is trying to do, like I'm not saying like he's a Messi. But like people know who he is now. You have a fan. You have people who are fans of the guy. You have to keep those guys here in order to make this thing grow and for you to fall in love with a guy and be with the guy. Buy the shirt, so you're not walking around with a blank jersey.
My one question is that on the league to help keep more players like that, or is that on some of these individual clubs doing more to try to keep
Well, no, the biggest question, first
these
of all,
stature of players?
Is would you be willing to pay the transfer fee to keep him?
That's a
I
good
say
question.
yes because
So
he was
you
the
want
best
him-
player in the
4.5?
playoffs.
So you want him to be a DP?
I think so. Back to the DP.
No, here's the
That's
thing
the
though,
biggest-
real quick.
That's the biggest deal breaker.
I want to keep him here if he wants to stay here. If he doesn't want to be here, get him going. I feel like
Doesn't matter how much you pay for him.
doesn't matter. If he does not want to be here,
Yeah,
if he's not
we don't
bought
want
into
that.
the culture and be like, I want to stay here and I want to be Red Bull in and out, you want to go back to Uruguay, go, bro. I'd rather, you know what I mean?
I'm with
I
that.
want guys who
players
want to
that-
be
yes,
here.
100%.
You could have aspirations to, move on to Europe. Of course, everybody wants to better their career and take their career to the highest. You can't blame people for that. But if you want to say, I don't want to be here, I'd rather go back home because I'm homesick or because I like my friends out there or because I'm more comfortable out there, fair enough,
Yeah.
go ahead. The club can only do so much. You're already paying him DP money. He's already taken up a DP spot. I think he's great. I think he's awesome. I think he provides a lot to the team, especially in that midfield where the depth isn't really there. We've got Edelman and him, and then we've got Peter, who obviously was looking like he was going to be coming in, and this was going to be the year that he kind of broke out with Frankie, with Caceres, with Omir all leaving. It looked like Peter, this was going to be his year. Unfortunately, breaks his leg, spends basically the whole season trying to come back from that, and then he gets thrown in a difficult position where the 2 games that he started, We're an Eastern Conference final
Tough,
and an
tough
MLS
games.
Cup final.
Tough
You know,
games.
you can't expect a guy to break his leg 6 months ago and then come back and just be who he is, you know?
And you got Donkor, who's coming up as well.
Donkor as
Ronald
well.
Donkor,
I
yeah, good
think-
shout out.
So I love Felipe, but if he does not want to be here, I feel like that's when things start getting a little dicey in the locker room, and that's when you start losing a little bit of that culture.
I need somebody who loves Newark.
No, I
should be
agree.
somebody who loves
I
Newark.
agree. I love him. I want to keep him.
No,
I think he's
yeah,
one of the best
exactly.
players. But if he
No, I
doesn't
love
want to
it.
be here,
Just forget about Newark. No players living
wanna
in
be
Newark.
here.
I don't know about this whole notion of like, hey, you got to be around and around Newark.
hey,
and
watch your mouth.
Hoboken.
What's wrong with Newark? Watch your mouth.
Come to
Watch your
Bloomfield.
mouth.
All right, let
Ah.
me finish what I'm saying here. Now let me finish.
Ah.
I'm in Newark all the time. I'm at Devils games all the time. I hang out before and after.
Yeah,
New
we
Jersey
got more
Devils
than the
games.
Prudential Center. Come on
Well,
down.
hey, at least I'm there. A lot of people won't even.
We got Iron-
A lot
we got Iron
of
Balance.
people won't
baby.
even touch the place. So all I'm saying is that we want people who want to be here. Yeah, in the New York, New Jersey metro area,
Yes.
we have
Yes.
a clear vision
I'm
now,
agreeing
at
with
least
that.
a little bit more. We
I'm
made it
agreeing
to a
with that.
final. We have a good coach. We have Jurgen Klopp now as the head of
Yes.
football. We are putting these pieces together to make an obvious project, one that's very clear. And if he doesn't see that, and if he doesn't really want that, then I agree with Joao.
Pack your bags.
Honestly, pack your bags. I
Pack
agree
your
that was
bags.
such a monumental goal against NYCFC. You'll forever be remembered for that. But I believe we can find and coach up
goal
new
against the
players.
crew.
We don't need
And the
goals.
goal
We need
against the crew.
cups. We don't need goals. We need cups. And
I'll
we need
say-
people who can be
I'll-
here 100%.
I'll
Yeah.
say this before we move on to incoming rumors, but when we bought him in the summer last year, there was rumors about him wanting to go back to Uruguay, even before coming to Red Bull. So I think,
He's been wanting to
Red
leave.
Bull was I'll go there, but we'll see. Maybe
Well,
if he stays, then
It looks
you
like-
got
And
back him, but-
he's obviously a great player.
To make them comfortable to stay.
But what do you do? Pay him more?
And listen, we are kind of losing all our South American flair here. No more Elias, no more Reyes, no more Caballo. It is true. We do need to
No
pick
more
up.
Breezes and
This guy's,
bananas.
this guy's just worried that the Latinas aren't going to be showing up to the game.
He wants
Exactly.
The BBL.
Where's
He wants
Lupinas?
the BBL.
Well, let's talk about incoming rumors.
Yes.
Obviously, we have left back Marcelo Morales, another free agent.
I
as
like
well. You have Dominic Fitz out in Austria, another attacking mid that they're looking to bring in. And then Andy Rojas from Costa Rica, the 19-year-old winger / striker that they're looking to bring. All three of those guys look like they have serious interest in playing at Red Bull next year. So who do you guys want to talk about first there?
Like-
Rojas.
Rojas?
So I think that's the
Looking
real.
at-
Ah,
I think
really?
you have to go. I
Okay.
think
Costa
with what
Ricans
you're
are
trying to
saying
do,
he's really good.
And if he's really good, like they're saying, this could bring you a lot of bread at some point.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
keep this
That's
project
right,
going.
that's right.
Or you have somebody who's going to be a fucking Red Bull in and out, and he's going to go. But those guys don't do that in
Yeah.
this league.
There's not one bad comment about Rojas from the Costa Ricans. They all put him as one of the top or the best.
Other
young
than he's a
talents.
hothead, but hey man,
Oh,
I'd
we need
rather,
that.
You need that.
No.
You need the guy that
if you saw
in
if you saw in the Costa Rican final, massive brawl at the end
Oh,
after his
yeah?
team won. Got suspended 4 games in the league for next year, but
Another Andres Reyes.
He brings that fight with him. If you could tame that and keep it just football oriented, I think he could be a massive signing if they can get that over the line. We'll hear more about that. I believe this week the president talked about that in the media, so we'll have something on
could
that
have a signing.
Well,
later this week.
Was it you or you? Before we start recording, is he going to be a DP though?
No.
Oh, okay.
He'd be a U22.
Oh, U22. That was the thing.
okay.
So then you could explain the rule a little bit
Yeah,
better,
so
I guess.
basically you can either have 3 DPs and 3 U22s, or you can have 4 U22s and 2 DPs. Right now, Red Bull have 4 DPs.
And 3.
I like breaking the rules.
Miami and have one Messi and get
I like
everybody wants.
I like
Can we be
Messi? Listen. Red Bull's here to break the rules a little bit. Come
Hey,
on,
we got
we
your
need
cup.
we need to entertain.
So here's the thing then now, because if we're looking at that situation, then if we're bringing him in, we got to let go of Dante and Felipe both.
But I think Dante's gone. I really do.
You heard it here
I
first.
I hope not. But I think he's gone.
If a good offer
I
comes
think
in,
when a
Speculation.
player comes around and he's like, I'm willing to go. You're already one way out. You're already halfway out the door.
Okay, so then if he's gone, then we still got to offload Felipe before we can even register Rojas.
What do you think Jokin told them in the exit interview? after the season
We'll
was
make you
over.
American. So we'll get you citizenship. So you don't have to worry
But
about
that's
that.
also another thing. They're bringing in 3 internationals right there. You know, you gotta offload some internationals.
Yeah.
It's so dumb. It's
Yes.
so dumb. If you
Yes.
want the
Just
league to
go.
grow,
You gotta just go.
bro,
Yeah.
dude.
The MLS can't get out of its own way, and this is the problem I think Red Bull has been facing since it joined the league, and since 2010 when we signed Henry, and
A lot of regulations.
And,
You
here-
know?
and here's the thing: if you want to talk about, oh, we're doing it so that we can give Americans more opportunity to kind of make it into the MLS, that's fine. Every league
Yeah.
has that. Portugal, you need at least 5 Portuguese
Prem-
players
the Prem has
on.
that.
yeah,
Make it that you need 7 Americans there.
Yeah.
Okay, and we'll bring the but let us go get this other talent into the league to bring more eyes to the league to do all. You know what I mean? Like,
But I don't want
it's only
it to
going to
be-
generate more money.
we're jumping through hoops here to fucking try to.
My issue with that is I don't want this league to be what the same stigma. The whole like it's a retired league. You go there at the end. No, motherfucker, come here now.
Yeah.
We come here now.
But didn't you just want to say Ramos?
No, but that's different, bro. But like, 'cause that's what it is. But I mean, like,
it is a mix of both.
yeah. But I mean,
Okay.
I,
So then-
I don't want it to stay.
That's
with
an
that
easy
stigma.
fix. That's an easy fix then. You can have as many U22 guys as you want.
Oh,
Shit.
but that's
yeah.
You go get Rojas and you have no issues registering the DP still as well. You get a mixture of both.
Damn,
That's a good one. That's a good one. That's a
But
good
I've
one.
always said like
That's
more,
easy fixes,
more money,
man.
better players. And like
Yeah.
I've always said I've
More
kind,
mon-
of, I've kind of
More money,
projected
more
it.
problems.
I've kind of put out this idea that maybe MLS should think about doing what baseball does with their salary, like a loose or a loose salary cap. Like if you want to go, whatever the cap you want it to be, if you go over it, you just pay a tax on it. You know, that would help the bigger teams spend more, and then the teams that don't want to spend more, they get that revenue from the bigger teams that go over the tax.
True.
And they can still build the team however they want.
Yeah.
And here's the thing. You let us spend more money, go get whoever you want. The product on the field becomes better.
More people come.
More
More kids wanna
people
play
in the
soccer.
stadium. More people using Stream East to watch the games. More people, you know what I mean? Like the Prem looking at Peck is massive. I mean, like how many people didn't even know that LA Galaxy were a team, and now they realize that this Peck guy is there. And now maybe they start paying a
Numbers
little
to
bit more
Arsenal, yeah.
attention,
Yeah.
and we start getting some, a little pathway between the MLS and the Prem. But it's
Salaries
like-
go up.
you know what I mean? Like
Better
it's
players start coming
But
over.
if you're saying you can only have this amount of players and you can only have this amount of DPs and this amount of
You'll
U22s,
always be restricted.
you're just cannibalizing yourself. You know?
Yep.
Look, and speaking of transfers, I have to mention the one that you spoke about earlier, the first one, Marcelo Morales.
Yeah, left back, Chilean, 21.
You're gonna be surprised, and I think he's gonna be even better than John Talkin.
Morales?
This isn't. This is.
Hot take.
This is
He looks
recorded.
good. He looks
This
good.
is this is on record. He's going to be better than John Talkin. I'm telling you, 100 and plus appearances, pro appearances. Chilean, already playing with the Chilean national team
he's
last year in
senior
October,
international, yeah.
and his aggressiveness, his mentality, I think matches John Talkin. And when he's playing for us, it's only going to grow higher. He's a person that you're going to have to watch for. Marcelo Morales is a big name coming, underrated right now because of his age, but a big time player that's coming.
I'll
out.
say the only thing he would need to work on is a bit more defensive positioning, but
Okay.
offensively he's as gifted as any attacking left back you'll see probably in the league. He's got all the tools to be that guy and be another big sell on guy in the future. And to get a guy like that as a free agent would be massive for the club, especially when you're selling a guy like JMI. To bring in a player like Morales to just plug him in right away, massive.
Let's hope the club can do that. That's what they need to do, especially if they want to follow up
And-
this past year.
And since he's a free agent, the no transfer fee, so he'd just be like a TAM signing. So he wouldn't be a U22 or anything, if I'm correct.
Well, my question is, if not him, then who? Right? Because
Omar Valencia.
what do
Yeah.
Curtis
Omar,
Ofori.
Curtis Ofori, Dylan
These are all
Nealis.
younger guys
Like,
like
you know what I
there,
mean?
but Dylan will be in rotation, but you can't just have Dylan.
But then,
Leave him
but then
as a third center back. I love
yeah,
Dylan.
Yeah,
as
yeah,
third center back.
exactly. I think so
I'm
too.
thinking as well, like, if now we're getting another offensive fullback, that means that we can't have Lewis playing the wing anymore. which means Lewis is going to have to stay in that striker central position, and we're going to have to play a 3-back again as well. So like,
we'll get to the starting 11 and the structure, but for the talking.
What happened? What I miss here?
It's part of the show. But do you think that we're gonna miss John talking a lot after this?
Under construction.
Under construction.
I mean, I think we'll miss Tolkien.
No, we'll definitely miss Tolkien.
Yeah, we'll miss J-Maya.
But
listen. The whole thing about J-Maya,
question.
obviously, you picked out some of his defensive woes and maybe not recovering all the way, but he was big on set pieces.
Yeah,
he was the guy to whip in
point.
the cross that Reyes got his head to get us to the final. Listen, I'm just saying he did have a left foot on him.
I mean, I think Emil, if we're talking set pieces alone, Emil is going to eclipse him. At least for me, anytime I watch the game, anytime it's a corner, I don't agree with Tolkien taking the corners. Every time it was a corner and it was Emil's corner, I'm like, okay, maybe we could do something. Once the corner was on Tolkien's side, you don't even know if the ball is going to get into the box.
Yeah, so
Got to power through. Just power through. Boys.
Yeah,
Just power through. Just power
that's
through.
a professional. That's a professional.
Post production, we could try to break down the background a little bit.
But then, so we'll get to the third guy, Dominic Fitz. Attacking mid. Austrian press, they're talking about Red Bull looking at him as the next guy behind Emil Forsberg to take over that reign in the next coming years. But I think you bring in a guy like him, he's leading the Austrian league in assists right now. He's got 9 in league, 10 total. I think he's a great attacking midfielder, a playmaker. That's what Red Bull's been missing. Opposite of Emil Forsberg is that another playmaker in that midfield. Especially when Forsberg went down, they had nobody.
Yes.
Yeah, you can see that.
You can see a different game played when Forsberg was on the field and off the field, like
100%.
like Zhao said. So you bring in another guy like that, only 25. I think the cost would be around like $2.5 million, maybe $3 million. I think that's another guy to look at for another guy that you can just plug in the starting 11 across from Emil Forsberg next year.
Yeah, and not like just to continue on that. Red Bulls tried 3 different players or 4 different players. It was Wiki Carmona, Cam Harper, Lewis Morgan, and none of them can fill Forster's shoes.
Because those guys, I feel like they're just not pure attacking playmakers. They're more winger type players.
Also, Morgan's on one leg, literally.
Yeah.
What do you know?
True.
Mickey didn't do enough to get into a flow of things.
Yeah.
I thought.
Yeah, he hasn't done enough.
No, like
I'm not
yeah,
satisfied.
like that guy has.
Well, for the club in general, you got to give him his props because he's playing RB2 and the first team. So
Okay.
for the club as a whole, that's why I don't give Wiki too much stick, just because
Okay.
it's like, he could be playing RB2 and then tomorrow he's playing with the first team. You know what I mean?
I will say one thing on Wiki. Like when he plays for RB2, he looks like a completely different player.
Yeah.
Like that's my only gripe with him is he's got all this talent. His left foot is ridiculous. He'll smack the ball from outside the box, top corner at RB2. And then when he goes and gets his opportunity with Red Bull, it's just not translating.
Do you think it's because he's given more freedom with
To
RB2?
the sellout crowd.
No,
It's rattled.
they
all nervous.
between Red Bull and Red Bull 2, they play the same system. So I think it's just he's not seeing the field fully at Red Bull Arena for whatever reason. And I also have a problem. He always has his head down, so he's missing players when they're making runs, like the strikers. So I don't know. Like his only thing is taking what he does at Red Bull 2 and brings it to Red Bull. Like if he can do that.
So you think we're a couple tweaks away, small differences away from having somebody there?
I think it's just him. It's a mental game for him because he's got all the talent.
He'll have another big chance this year too to prove himself. I think that's another player along with Serge Goma that we brought up before.
They need to step
we
up.
We need them
They
to
need
take
to
a next
step
step. Otherwise, we might have to move on from some of these players, which stinks because they were RB2 players.
Yes.
They've been with the club for a long time. But we'll see what happens. We'll see. I don't know.
We gotta be honest.
Love it. I fucking love it. You can hear the construction from the NYCFC Stadium.
All right.
Oh, well, that's
Anything?
fucking great.
Anything left with the transfer rumors? We're okay. Oh no, one
I
thing.
hope
though.
we sign Fitz. That would be a big big signing
Fitz
if we,
will be
if we
important.
could get that over the line.
Fitz will be important. Now, with John Tolkien, I just gotta say something. He's been wanting to leave since a long time ago, but I didn't like that he was desperate enough to take an offer from a team that's battling relegation. I don't like that. I'm not okay with that.
So like before we were talking about this whole guys being on teams, that does great for your resume. If you kept the team from getting relegated and you were great, you're the fucking guy.
To be fair, they just beat Dortmund today, so.
Did they?
Yeah.
Wow.
So they're staying up.
No, but you know what I'm saying? So
I
like,
guarantee you.
it works. It works. It could work for you.
can.
So you will be okay with
But
him?
also-
Yeah. Okay.
He should have been gone.
Okay.
He's
Yeah.
good,
I agree
man.
with that.
He should have been
Yeah.
gone.
It's just
man.
that the only reason he's not gone yet is that
His agent
it's-
sucks.
Well, it's either my two things is it's either he doesn't like the team that's trying to buy him, or Red Bull doesn't like the offer that's been coming.
Yes.
So,
Yes. It's a little bit of
me
both.
personally,
How much do you guys think we're getting for him?
Well, it's been like 4 or 5 million, no?
Oh, I was thinking.
I don't know about that.
My thing was gonna. I was gonna say 5, but that's way off. If you're thinking 4,
Yeah.
I'm thinking no.
I'm thinking like
Three.
mid threes in a sell-on.
Oh, that's too low for
Wow.
me. That's too low. I don't. Yeah.
4 and a bag of balls.
Oh, we signed Victor Bogas for 2, so I'd say 4.
Double it up.
I'd say 4.
Yeah.
That's me.
Well, I'll say this: Holstein Kiel's record signing was 1.8 mil.
1.8.
1.8.
You're a savage. Bro.
Yeah. But that's why. But that's why you don't go for those teams. You go for the bigger ones.
Yeah.
And I think he's going to Leipzig.
Like
Damn,
so, like
bad.
that's
Hold on,
why
that-
when
that
I
just went
saw.
over my head.
Area
No, it's
Sports
true.
gotta get you a
That's why I
raise.
said
That's
when-
true.
Facts.
Area Sports, yo, Area Sports, stop playing, my man. Get him a raise.
Like when you
heard?
see a team like that going in for a token, you're like, I don't know about that. That's why I thought Mainz would be. That might be a better area for him because it's like mid-range Bundesliga team who can go in there, get that starting.
What's their record signing?
Oh, I don't know. I didn't check.
Dan,
But it's also got the Mainz connections with Sandro,
Yeah,
Jurgen
true.
Klopp coming in. Like I feel like that would have been a perfect situation for him. But we'll see where he goes. I think it's a guarantee that he's moving up.
Can he go to Leipzig?
What?
No
No.
chance.
I don't think. I think him personally. I don't know this for a fact, but if I was him, I would want to try to distance myself away from the Red Bull
Yes.
game.
I was gonna say that.
Just to.
It's the same thing. Every fucking Red Bull thing, all the way from the top,
Yeah.
they're all the same.
I think I feel like for him to break into to the national team, I think he needs to improve in different areas. So him just going to another Red Bull team and playing the same style, I don't think that helps him improve in any way.
So,
Well,
you want to say
Holstein
shout out?
clean.
Oh yeah, no. Shout out to Emil as well. What he said about Tolkien, like
Yeah.
backing him all the way, like that's the kind of guy that we need, and I'm just glad that we got what we were expecting from him.
Yeah.
So shout out to him.
Leadership.
And I think
That's the captain right there.
Yeah,
his
100%.
options are probably limited because of he missed his opportunity 2 years ago. Maybe he had an opportunity a few years ago that he didn't take it. He said, "Oh, I'll stay. I'll give it a few more years. Maybe I can work on my game." And now here we are 2 years later, and these are the options. And I don't think he's going to have another shot to be like, all right, let me stay again for another year and see if we can win the whole thing. I think him bringing us to the final is a perfect time for him to leave. And I think he'll end up going to that German club, unfortunately, that's in a relegation battle. And hopefully you can keep him up for his own sake so that he can maybe propel himself into another club.
Well, I think if we're talking U.S. men's national team, just who's our left back for the U.S. men's national team?
He doesn't have a spot, I don't think.
Or Robinson, Jedi.
You're not gonna
Jedi.
let
Oh,
Jedi.
Jedi.
Come on, dude.
Who's the right back?
Jedi
Scally.
is
Scally.
an absolute
I think
savage
Scout. Yeah. No. Jedi is probably one of the best fullbacks right now in the world.
in the world.
I completely
Yeah.
forgot about
But
it.
I'm saying-
I was thinking about Scally, though, but he's on the right.
That backup left back spot, it's there for the taking.
Yeah, it is. Yep.
I even heard
Who is the
Ledesma.
backup?
Richie
They
Ledesma.
always rotate.
I thought there was another Robinson.
There's a bunch of guys,
Miles
in
Robinson.
that
Miles, that's
running.
it.
But I feel like Jay might be, improves his game, defensively positioning.
Especially he keeps getting the call up too for the Olympic team and for everything else.
Well,
But he has to play in Europe.
Well, right
He has
now
to
it's
play in
like an
Europe.
MLS All-Star call-up kind of.
So that's
Yeah.
that's my thing.
Yeah.
The only person that was the most observant person on that fucking roster, Matt Freese. We had this conversation before. Matt Freese, I think, is the best goalie in the MLS. I think we're not going to talk about
Did he
that.
just
I know
bring
you
a
guys-
new
Is he-
CFC?
is he-
We can talk about New York
No,
City.
no, no, let's
So
talk
I-
about it. Because is he on the way out as well? Because if so,
I
NYCFC
think so,
is
but
cooked.
I think that he is a guy, another guy, where he should be somewhere else other than Queens and Bronx.
Yeah.
A million
It
percent.
looks like it. He's going
Dude,
to
Matt
Bundesliga.
Freeze is a savage, and you know, I'm
I'll
not
say
saying
he
that
had
my
a- he had a great
but
year.
my thing is always, why aren't the guys getting called up internationally? I ask Santi all the time, Santi, how have you not been called up? When I had Lois Morgan, Lois, have you gotten a call?
They don't
And at
rate
that time,
MLS.
He didn't get a call.
Yeah.
They don't rate MLS.
They don't rate the MLS.
Yep.
For him to finally get the call, dude, he's the best keeper at that camp right now. 1,000,000%.
I like-
1,000,000%.
I like Schulte. I like Schulte. I think Schulte provides a bit more presence.
I like
The issue is
Hagen.
you know what the thing is? The way that they play defense. So NYC tries to score so much that they're vulnerable to goals. So he has to
I see.
make more saves.
I can see that. I
He
see that.
has to put
I see,
in
I
more
see what
work
you're saying.
every game.
I see what you're saying.
He's had so many games where he should have had shutouts, and there's one that got in towards the end, or there was
Yeah.
some mix-up. And it's never really on him. Dude, he is the best goalie at that camp right now. I think in the
Okay.
league.
Okay, that's a fair shot.
Dude,
That's
he
a
got
fair shot.
snubbed from being an all-star.
Yeah, he's 100% should have been
Kalina,
on the All-Star.
Kalina is not American, right? Or is he?
Kalina is Polish, no?
Yeah.
Polish.
When they spoke about goalie of the year this year, he
That was
wasn't even
Kalina.
brought up, and I'm like, dude, are you kidding me?
Wow.
Even
Well-
Carlitos, I don't think was brought up, right?
Yeah, no. Well,
Come on.
Carlos didn't have a good...
Carlos had a bit of a down year
Yeah,
this year.
yeah, he didn't have
But
a
he
full...
showed up at the
Yeah,
end.
yeah, yeah,
That
100%.
guy at playoff time turns into Buffon.
100%.
Harrison Buffon.
Other than
Alisson
the
Becker.
final. Other than the final, but.
He left the softball.
But I'll say
soft.
one last thing before we move on to the next topic. Another position they're looking at to bring in, but they haven't, successfully done, is a left-footed winger. We saw with the Orlando.
That's a good
the guy
point.
that just signed for Orlando, Nicolas Rodriguez from Colombia. That was a guy that they were in on. They're looking for another left-footed winger with pace, and we'll see if that comes to fruition with any other targets. But they're looking at a couple guys, but nothing concrete yet.
Just look at LA. Wingers bring you MLS Cup.
I'll say they brought in good players this year, but they need some more pace
Area
on this
Sports,
team.
get my man a raise. Yo, I swear, when you guys edit this, make sure you put that in, all right? We'll get you a raise over there. We'll get you a raise, kid.
All right, so now just the final two questions. Well, the first one, starting 11. Do we go back to the same way that we played in the playoffs? Do we go to the 4-2-2-2?
Yeah, 4-2-2. I think that's what we're gonna go back to. I think
Ooh.
what they found in the playoffs is that they found a second formation that they could go to in a pinch, or if it, tactically, if it brings a better matchup
Yep.
for them.
Matchup based.
But the 4-2-2, that's their bread and butter. That's what they were going at most of the year. And again, we have to bring up, before Forsberg went down, like they were rolling.
cooking.
They were
Yeah,
rolling
I was gonna
with
say that.
So I think that's what they go back to. If they bring in a guy like Fitz, or even if they move Morgan back to the attacking mid on the other side, I think that gives them more flexibility. It brings them more options to play going forward.
Okay.
I like a triangle up top though. I feel like Forsberg has to be in the middle. I like a two striker and a cam. Because I feel like Forsberg up and down instead of being so much on.
I don't think he can do up and down.
That's true.
Yeah.
I don't think he can do up and down. I don't think his legs could do up and down.
That's
He's
true,
slow.
that's true.
He looked slow in the playoffs. Although he came through against Columbus, he looked a little
last game
slow.
of the season, everybody's on their last limb.
Yeah.
True.
And he
true.
also
And
had
this is how you
yeah,
win, like-
and he had a broken foot. So.
Yeah, that's right. Which we agreed that he wasn't fully 100%.
No.
Right? Okay.
But
but
I like the 4-2-2. I like that.
But you will keep the 3-4-3.
No, 3-4-1-2.
3-4-1-2.
Yeah.
3-4-1-2.
I would like the 3-4-1-2 for myself.
Okay. And in that three center backs, what are your three center backs?
But we only have three, right?
Here, right?
We have Hack, Sean, and then Noah.
So you keep those three.
Yeah.
Those three.
Now, I would
Yeah.
say if you're going three
Into
at
the
the back,
mic.
I'd say if you're going three at the back, you're going Hack, Sean Nealers, and Dylan Nealers.
Oh,
Really?
okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so you sit down Noah.
Well, you got to sit down with one of the guys. I think Dylan in a three at the back is nasty. I think he showed that he's really good at three at the back. For a small guy, his athleticism is ridiculous.
Unbelievable.
Like
Unbelievable.
He has one of the biggest birds on the team. Like So I think if you're gonna go with that three in the back, I think you go Hack, Sean Nillis, Dylan Nillis.
All right. What about you? You going for the 3 in the back or 4? 4-2-2-2.
I'd probably go back to the 4, like you said, 4-2-2-2 that was working.
Yeah.
Right?
Don't
Why
fix
not?
it if it ain't broken.
Why not? I'd have.
The guy from Newark has a different idea.
Well, I just
Hey,
Hey, Christian.
that's good. Hey, we all have little different ideas. That's what's good. I think different opinions. I say Hack in the middle with Nealis, and then you got Kyle Duncan right on the one side, and then I would say your boy Cam Harper, right, would play on the right back position, unless we have somebody else like Morales, or maybe things get a little, because we don't know who is still coming in yet, so things could change. But I would.
Dylan Nillis is gonna start at right back.
So all right,
Yeah.
then we'd leave Dylan Nealis there, and I'd start Kyle, Hack, and Nealis.
Wow.
Kyle have a starting spot.
Wow. We're gonna get to that in a bit.
Well,
I
I
love
still
my
don't know
guy.
what he.
I love Kyle.
I still don't know what he got surgery for. I know it was on his knee. I don't even know if he's still rehabbing or not.
He was there in LA training. That's all I know.
was it?
He was
He's in Jamaica
training.
right now.
Yeah, he's
So if,
Jamaican right
if
now.
he's fully fit and they don't bring in Morales, then I guess that's what you go with. But
That's terrible.
You have to bring in Morales.
yeah,
You have to bring.
I would
him.
love to bring in Morales, and then obviously you would sit Duncan and start Morales, Nealis, Hack,
and you still
then
have
other
Omar
Nealis.
Valencia at left back, who they just signed from the second team. I love his game.
A lot of
Yeah,
Rebel
I thought-
2 games, but no.
I don't know if he was available. For some reason, I thought he was. I thought we were going to see Kyle Duncan end up in San Diego.
Wow, on a
Well-
package with.
No, I thought like he was like one of the names. Like if they would have, I don't know if they put him out
Protected.
Yeah, he was.
there. Right?
Yeah.
I thought that he would have
He-
been scooped up easily.
I think he was protected. I don't think he was on that list.
I would have made a trade to be like, yeah, take him.
Well, now we
2
can
for 1.
trade. Red Bulls can make a trade. So if we do see another MLS player,
don't-
What are you
a
gonna
like
get for him?
a like for like.
I just
Bag
don't.
of popcorn.
No.
And you can only make 2 a year.
No, that's my thing.
Okay,
I
so-
just don't think anybody on his
could.
salary, like he's making too much for a team to come in and be like,
Buy
yeah,
him
true,
out. Buy him
true.
out.
coming off a knee injury, it's just too much of a risk.
How much
he's
longer is
staying.
he under contract?
Another year.
I think a year.
So this year coming up, and then
a year and an option.
think.
A year and an option,
he's not getting the
2025. Yeah.
option.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you're
he's
in the
not getting it
option.
in the option.
So he
No.
needs. It's for him. It's a prove it year again for him. So
Yes.
there's a lot. There's a good handful of guys, young guys too, that are in that prove it now,
Peter Shaw
which
too.
is good.
It's
Oh,
his
yeah, so
last
you
year.
bring up- So let's go to midfield now.
So in the midfield, who would you guys start? Today.
And the
with
4
players
triple
that
two.
we
Who
have?
are your 4 midfielders?
Well, counting that Carvalho is still gonna be with us,
Okay.
has to be there, and Edelman.
Yeah.
The-
Carvalho,
the-
Edelman.
there's
and
no
then
other option.
And
Yeah.
then who are your 2 attacking mids?
It has to be.
Emil and who?
Emil Forsberg, obviously, and
You have to go with Cam on the other side.
Yeah.
yeah.
I
Wait,
think
I think he got
I
second
think
thoughts.
Cam provides a lot.
Unless Lewis Morgan. you
Going
move
forward,
him.
he's
You
kind of
move
playing
him
like a sort of like a fullback kind of role because that's what we have right now. But if Cam is strictly going forward, he's got the speed, he's got the dribbling, he's got the passing. I think Cam is in for a big year this year.
I just think he's more made off the bench.
Wow.
I would.
All right, let's go. Area sports.
Again, if we're, right now, if we're just going with the
Hit
guys,
us, hit us.
if we're going with the guys that we have on the team right now, right? I'd move Lewis Morgan back. I think
So then you're playing Chupo and
and Dante.
And Dante.
Dante's gone. I thought. Well,
Hypothetically.
we got to figure out.
Hypothetically.
Right now, at this
wait,
moment, he's still
wait.
there.
Yeah, he's
But then
still
if he's
there. I was
not,
saying-
you're still doing that.
Yeah, well, if he's
Chupo
gone-
and if he's gone,
all right, so if
Chupo.
he's gone, then I gotta put Morgan on top.
Exactly. It's probably most likely that's what we're going to be forced into doing. Because if not, then yeah, obviously move Lewis on one side, Emil
All right, so
on
do
the
we
other.
want to say that?
You know, Lowe's playing for the bag too.
Yeah.
100%.
Oh yeah.
He tried. Listen, that came from him. He told me like before he left after the season's over, he's like, I want a new contract when I come back from holiday.
I just don't think he's gonna.
I don't think so.
Ooh.
But I think that they have to really think about this and think about comeback player of the year. At the beginning of the season, held it down.
But here we go. You're going to have to make him a DP.
Yeah, I was about to
Back
say
to the
that.
fucking DP.
So let's talk about Lewis's situation after this.
Yes.
Assume that Dante's sold. Fine.
Yeah.
At that right wing, at that right attacking mid position, yeah, I'd probably go Cam to start the year then.
Yeah.
I think I think he brings that pace. He brings that dribbling flair.
Yeah.
He's got that it to him.
Yeah.
If he can do that consistently, then he'd be a great player for Red Bull in that starting 11.
100%.
It's just like, you know, when he'll have a hot run and then he'll pull his hamstring. And it's like,
Oh,
what again?
Yeah.
It's like, so I like his game, but I think on a winning team, if you're gonna win MLS Cup, he's that like first guy off the bench.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like he's that sixth man on your NBA roster.
Yeah.
So we need a starting right wing.
That's why I think.
Or right midfield.
That's why
If
I think.
Dante leaves, yeah.
I think that's what Dominic Fitz would be. I think he'd
Okay.
slide in right there.
Wow. So that's what we need. And I think that's the biggest
And
transfer
Goalie was
that they
staying
need
the
to
same,
get.
right? Everybody agrees on Carlos, or
No, Ryan Mara.
Ryan Mara needs to play the cup competitions games though. Leagues Cup, Open Cup if we
Yeah,
play.
yeah,
All right, so
We need to put
Mara
Mara
do
in.
goalie before we go to striker.
I mean, what's the thing with
Carlos
AJ
would
with
be-
AJ Marcucci? Is
Yeah, what's
he,
going
is
on
he
with
staying?
Marcucci?
I'm not gonna lie.
Because he wants to.
I
he
said
wants to
this.
play.
I said this after the year because I think Carlos. They just picked up his option. I would have sold Carlos and I would have ran AJ.
No, no,
and
no,
Ryan
no.
Mara.
Carlos is
Wow.
massive for us, brother.
I mean, if you saw what AJ was doing over in Finland, I know it's Finland, but he went to the team in last place.
okay, but then
Kept him up,
But
and
you gotta.
got him
That is
into
impressive.
and got him into European qualification.
Wow.
Like he got him into that, almost qualified them for Europe.
Wow.
So
But I feel like you gotta ease him in. Maybe give AJ the cup instead of Ryan this
Yeah.
year, and Ryan could just stay as like the.
I'm just saying I would have.
But you can't just drop him.
Based on, but are you gonna let Carlos go for free next year?
Is that the situation? I mean,
'Cause I
how
feel like- I
much
feel
how
like
much
he
do you think
still-
you could get for Carlos?
I think you can get like $1 million. I think you can get something like that. Because remember, last 2 years he's had offers from Europe to go back out there.
And when is Gulaci coming over?
He's not coming.
no? So
Let's not do
we
that.
saw
Let's not do
Gulaci.
that.
We saw Gulaci randomly.
Yeah, randomly.
Very randomly. And as a joke, you know, Mo says to him, Mo's like, all right, so when are you going to come? He's like, 2 years. Dead ass looked at Mo, was like, 2 years. Wait, you were there?
Remember this clip?
You were there. You were there.
Our cameraman. Our cameraman.
Roger was there. Roger was there, and he said to us, 2 years.
Okay.
So
I'm with
after
it.
after that, so you're gonna say
For the
they're
World
gonna-
Cup.
they're gonna let Carlos Coronel walk for free and bring in Gulaci.
So then we're stuck with AJ. You know what I mean, come on.
I like Gulaci, man.
That's one of the biggest problems too with coaches. They don't allow them to play minutes. Like you said, Curtis Darfori has been sitting in Red Bulls for the whole. Well, he was
Well,
hurt.
I think he's
always
yeah,
hurt, too.
he's always hurt.
Both of those have been hurt in 16 for the past 3 years. You know what I mean?
If Amaya didn't leave, we wouldn't know how good Donkor was.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Well, Donkor even saw flashes of him last year when he got subbed on.
I wasn't too
Frankie-
surprised. Though.
Frankie-
Oh wait, last year, yeah,
Frankie left.
yeah.
That hole was felt through.
Oh,
Yeah.
100%.
A lot of the season.
Yeah.
And Frankie left. That hole was that was a.
And I'll say that.
That's 47 draws right there.
And when Cáceres left too, I absolutely
Yeah.
loved Cáceres. I don't know how he's doing out in
He's doing good.
Toulouse,
He's doing
right?
good. He's doing good.
Yeah.
But I'll
His
say,
score,
hey,
big bread right
hey,
there.
hey, I'll say them getting $4 million for Frankie Amaya on an expiring deal. Shout out to Jochen Schneider. I mean,
Okay.
they
Okay.
absolutely,
That's Chris's boy.
absolutely stole
He gets
money
the
from
exclusive.
Toluca. Like they could have just signed him for free. Toluca.
Okay. And we
good.
kept
But Red Bull get
Okay.
$4 million.
Gave you the
take that.
chocolate.
best chocolates.
So-
No, look, I'm just gonna. I told you this before we started recording. If Frank Amaya was playing instead of Peter Stroud, we would have won that cup in LA. That's my thing.
I don't
That's-
think Frankie keeps those 2 goals out, but
I don't. I think he was a very important player for us. I know Sandro didn't want to give him up, but he had to because he didn't want to be in New York anymore. He
All
wanted to
right.
be with his girlfriend in Mexico.
so attackers, your 2 strikers.
Your 2 strikers,
Chupo's 1. Who's
Of
the other
course,
one?
he has to start.
Lewis.
You have to say Lois.
Yeah, you gotta say Lewis.
Yeah,
we can all agree with that, right?
Lewis
Yeah.
Morgan right now.
I
yeah.
think to start the.
Can
to
he?
start the
I'll
year.
ask you because you know him interviewed. So how long is it'll take for him to get back into that?
Look, he didn't get a whole recovery time.
Yeah. it's a
You know,
problem.
that's the one thing he was adamant to me about. He's like, I didn't get a full recovery time. But the truth of the matter is, you made it to the final. So you don't have a full recovery
100%.
time. You're back at it. You're going to California in a couple weeks. So, like, with the workload, who knows if you're going to see him at 100%. I'm not surprised if we don't see him. I hope not, but you know, you see him hurt again.
Oh
you know,
no, that's terrible.
when you're playing at this level, like recovery is huge, rest is huge.
Yeah.
With the workload that these guys now have,
No, you're right.
Do you think he could afford to miss something like a Coachella or some of the preseason just so
He
he
did
can
last
get
year.
himself right?
Yeah.
he did last year. He traveled, but he only played the last couple minutes in the last game.
Right. He might.
I think
need to do something
we're
similar.
going to see that for a lot of the players. I think a lot of the players, you know,
We need longevity.
I mean, what
100%.
did they have off? Like a month,
Yeah.
realistically.
A
Like
month and a
if
half.
that, like when I spoke to Cam, like a
they're
week
still
after the
training.
final, he was talking about how he's still hurt and trying to heal his body. Noah, when I talked to him yesterday, was saying the same thing. Like a lot of these guys, man, like they get a month off and to be right back to it. I know Noah said he's coming back Friday. I don't know when exactly they go to Coachella. You said in a couple of weeks.
They go to Coachella in February. They report to the facility on Sunday.
This Sunday?
Yeah, this Sunday.
So yeah, I think obviously they'll
So they'll
do
have-
tests and do all of the
they'll have
whatever
training.
protocol.
They'll have like a couple weeks here to train. Then they go out to Coachella and they come back. But now that we're here talking about Lewis, let's just talk about his situation. Obviously, he's got this year and then he's got an option the year next year. You said he wants another
He
deal.
wants another deal.
Me personally, I don't think Red Bull's in that spot to be like, yeah, we'll give you that deal, because again, he'll have to be a DP. He's currently making like 1.4 mil right now.
Yeah, he's like way underneath the threshold.
What would he want in an extension? Obviously,
Yeah.
he's already 28. Is he turning 28 this year?
Yeah, but I think my thing is that he showed, again, you know, he showed what he was brought here for.
True.
You know,
My
he
only
got hurt, came back, they changed his fucking number, he got a new coach.
He better change that.
Play in
That's
Scotland
all I'm
too.
saying.
Huh?
Play in Scotland after 6 years or something like that,
You
no?
finally got called up to the national team. Like, you made yourself,
No.
So that's the thing. He's in the prime of his career right now. Why wouldn't he want to move back to the UK?
Yeah.
he
I
wants,
mean,
no.
like he's in the prime of his career. He go back home to the UK, get into the national team, you know, play in the championship or the Prem. I mean, I think he's that level. He could do that. Why not do that?
Sell him.
Yeah.
Sell him.
I think he's championship level.
I
quality
think
in
I
England,
think
yeah.
he's one of those guys who's happy to be out here. I feel like that's the difference.
So my thing,
Maybe.
Yes.
my
Probably is.
Which is
He's always
great.
loved-
I
He's
I
always
owns a
loved
place
New York.
here,
Yeah.
so he's invested here. I know he owns a place here,
Yeah.
so I know he's invested here.
Yeah.
But, you know, somebody else said to me, if the Red Bull don't do right by him, you'll find him on another MLS team. And he'll kill it wherever he goes.
100%.
I don't think his move is to go back anywhere.
100%, yeah.
I think he's MLS the rest of the way.
My only problem with him in our system is that he's a tweener. He's not an attacking mid and he's not a striker. He's a winger.
Okay.
He's a pure winger. If we were playing a 4-3-3, he'd kill it on that left wing. But they have him at striker, and that's not his natural position. Or his natural position is not attacking mid. So like he's not a playmaker per se. Yes, he's scoring goals, but he's not a striker. He doesn't have that striker instinct to be in those
100%.
certain positions.
100%.
Here's the thing for me. When you pull up to Red Bull Arena, you see on the side of the stadium the pictures. You see it's Carlos, it's Emil,
Julian Hall.
it's Lewis Morgan, it's Token, and it's Edelman. That base right there, we have to do as much as we can to hold on to that, because those guys right there are the Red Bulls.
Yep.
We're talking about Carlos possibly being gone. We're talking about J-Mai being gone. We're talking about
Damn near the whole team. Yeah.
Edelman. We don't know,
He's a couple of years away.
a couple years away. Emil, he's got what, 2 more years on his legs, maybe, if that.
Yep.
And if you let Lewis walk as well, who's the identity of the team?
Well,
Are we just meant to just rebuild all over again?
Maybe they'll revisit the contract thing in the summer. I don't know when he's expecting to go to that negotiation table.
I think we have to hold Lewis.
I mean, I agree. It stinks that he was hurt. I think some of these players should disclose maybe some of this a little bit more, because as fans, what we're seeing is that we're seeing the production not being as there as much. We were questioning Lewis's play, but we didn't know how much of that hip injury was still affecting his play, and it obviously was affecting a lot because he didn't score during the playoffs. So I'd like to see him come back. I know, again, he did win the comeback player of the year, rightfully
Which
so.
I call.
Rightfully so.
Good
but
for you.
take that extra rest if you need it. Do not push it in the preseason if you do not need to. and then come back and be that out-and-out starter again for us and hold down that position because we need that. He is part of that core group of guys. And then if he comes back, does the same thing, then yes, he does deserve that new contract. So we come back,
and then we're
get
back.
that rest.
We're back to square one. Because what, you're gonna let Chupo go?
I'd say if it's true.
When he leaves, it's the end of his run, right?
Yeah.
Like he rides into the sunset after he leaves here.
Chupo, yeah.
Chupo?
Yeah, because he has
Yeah.
2
Yeah.
years.
contract.
But that
That's an
means,
option.
but that means that we're gonna have him for 1 year, and then if we want to bring Lewis in as a DP, then we got to get rid of him and only have him for 1 year.
That's why I've been saying, like, if you can get a
It's-
certain offer from obviously, you know, the UK, they need to pay more money for guys with UK passports because they have that regulation that they need a certain amount of guys. Lewis has got that Skyline passport. I think, you know, if you can get an offer, especially coming off a year where you're still scoring goals, he wasn't at his best, obviously coming back from that hip injury. But if you can get an offer like, you know,
From
6,
Stoke,
7
something.
mil,
Wasn't there an offer
8
from
million,
Stoke?
something like
Yeah,
that.
there was
I
a
feel
rumor.
like you have to
There was
take
a
that.
rumor. So
I think you have to consider really taking that offer and then, you know, going back out into the market and getting a pure striker that can score goals for you, like 20 goals this season. I don't think Lewis can score
MLS regulations are stupid.
Yeah.
But they're changing.
Let me talk to the soccer Don, Mr. Don Garber.
Yeah, and
a
hopefully
message.
He
A
pops up. He
message.
pops up sometimes at Red
Yeah,
Bull.
yeah.
Yeah, he's at NYCFC saying
Yeah.
that the only team in fucking
No,
New
no.
York.
Yeah.
I've seen him. I've seen him at RBA.
I want to play.
Let me talk to him.
I want to play a quick game with you
That'd be
guys.
so. Hey,
Good game.
I want to play a quick game with you guys. It's keep or trade. All right.
He
I'm
ain't
gonna
coming to Newark, by
I'm
the
gonna
way.
throw out a name, and you're gonna tell me whether we keep him or trade him.
All right.
All right.
Trade or sell? Can we say trade or sell?
Trade or sell? Better. Okay. Trade or sell.
We play fuck, marry, kill.
Dante Van Zier. Keep or trade?
You got to trade him.
I'll say so.
DP.
Yeah, so.
Yeah, it's tough.
Just say so.
What happened to the guys that were supporting?
I was gonna say I'm waiting last. I know I'm gonna be the jerk.
Just insert
I
sell.
would,
over
but you
trade.
can't. You can't. You physically can't.
Yeah,
Someone has to go.
We saw
someone-
the guy that he could be.
Yeah.
Yes.
I'd say keep.
Someone's going to be a victim of this DP situation. I would,
Hey,
in a
yeah.
perfect world, say keep him
Why?
because I know his potential and I know that you said the speed doesn't matter and those assists don't matter. But from what I saw, in my perspective, I feel like he's just a little bit more versatile. But I do like I do like having Chupa Moatang on.
Here's
Someone like that,
the thing that
opposed
I
to
think. This is how
Van
I
Zier.
think that all these DP situations are going to get handled. We're going to have to offload Dante now. We registered Chupo, Emil, and Felipe as DPs. Felipe is gone in June.
Right.
And then in June, you take a step back, you analyze the team, you see what you've gotten, you focus on one aspect that you really need, and then in June, you go and you make that splash to bring if it's a midfielder that we need, you go out and you have to make a splash and get
You know what the thing is?
a KDB
This team doesn't do
to send you
splash.
through the playoffs.
This team doesn't do splash.
Hasn't done, but it also hasn't
They
done
do
what
like-
we've seen so far.
6.5, right? Well, how much was it for email?
They
Six?
do like they don't give you like a fucking oh my god.
Yeah.
They give you like oh shit they signed the fucking Emma Forsberg.
Right.
Like it's not like a fucking wow. Like,
They take
20
it
million
back.
They
seconds.
like finding diamonds in the rough too.
Thierry Henry was an oh my god.
was he?
Yeah, no, at that time.
course he
This was
was.
a while
The price
ago.
tag, the price tag,
This
the
was
price tag.
that was years ago. This is now. I don't think they do anything like that again. But
Now he's just a CBS announcer or something.
What you're saying though is true. And then with Lewis's contract, so you get rid of Carballo, right? And then Lewis is saying here, "Hey, I want DP money.
Yeah, it's
what are you
true as
gonna
well.
do?" So then you're like, "Oh crap! I'm not. All right, we got to get rid of Carballo." And then just know if I bring someone else in, Lewis is probably going to be on his way out after this year.
And if you bring somebody else in and he knows that he's not going to get the contract, then he's probably not going to give you the production that you want him to give through the rest of the season. He's probably not playing in the playoffs with an injured hip. Because now he's doing it because he wants to get the money. But if you bring in another DP and he knows that at the end of the year he's gone, it's going to be another Andres Reyes and saying, you know what, I could push it.
But I'm not.
Why would I?
Yeah, exactly. Good point. These are all things that Red Bull should consider, and I'm sure they're in the backroom staff.
Get rid of
talking about it.
DPs. It's pissing me
But
off.
hold on. We got Van Zier. You
I said
sell.
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 Sell out of necessity.
I say keep.
We'll say keep. We'll say keep. I'll be on his
Sell
side.
because you got to. You have to sell something.
And what about you, Christian? You're the defining one.
Yeah, sell.
Okay.
Yeah, let's get out of here.
right,
Let's
next
get-
player.
Next player. You mentioned him, Felipe Carvalho. Keep or sell?
Now that I know that he doesn't want to be here,
Get him-
speculation doesn't want to be here.
Don't take my word for it.
No, but I believe it. You can kind of tell in his body language a little bit too.
Felipe, I didn't say that. So when you see me, I didn't say
Felipe, I want you to stay here. I want you to want to be here too. Listen, we have great fans. I think you should stay, but it's a sell because it's a loan at the end of the day. You
I
can't
agree.
fall in love with a lone player. It's one of the golden rules of football.
Sell too.
I would keep it if he wants to be here.
Whoa.
I said in the beginning, as long as he wants to be here, I want him here, but I want him to come out and be like, che, boludo, quiero estar en Nueva York. I need him to say something like that, and then I'm all in. I think he's an absolute baller.
I like the player, but I'd have to cut him just because I'm not paying $3 to $4 million for his type of player. No offense, it's just the roster again. It's the roster.
Restrictions.
I don't see him as a VP type of guy.
Yeah,
I don't see him making the
it's
impact
okay.
that I want him to make as a center midfielder. So unfortunately, cut the loan.
Okay, you
I want him to stay here.
Keep, they say.
You got to keep him.
keep him. So you.
Oh, dude, he balled the fuck out. He balled the fuck out. You can't let a guy like. He balled the fuck out. You can't let a guy like that go. And granted, at the end, he played the game like, I'm hurt, I can't. He should have left it all out there. The truth of the matter is, dude, he fucking got you there.
We need him to win MLS Cup.
Oh, 1,000,000%.
Yeah, we do need players
But
like
is there-
himself to win MLS Cup.
Is there a world where he leaves now and the DP spot gets open now?
Yeah.
Yeah, of course.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
But you-
maybe-
but you-
But even so, if he's on this team and he helps you guys get to the point where it's not the fucking 47 draws, those are little wins because he balled out.
Yes.
And then he leaves, and you guys are in a great position going into that after July when it starts to get nitty gritty.
Well, that's why I need him to make
You're
a
in.
decision
You're
now.
good. You're
He needs
good.
to be like, I want to be a Red Bull for the next 2-3 years.
Yeah,
that wins
we
the
can't-
contract.
we can't have him leave in the
But it's
middle of the
also
season.
It's not also just on him. It's on
Yes.
Does Red Bull value him at his buyout? Do they want to buy him for that much? Me personally, I wouldn't, but maybe they say yeah.
But I think that the return on the investment could be great because he's still young.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
27, right?
No, he's
He
28.
did play
He's
when
28.
he did play a lot when Forsberg went out. I know he was just got here and he was kind of thrown into the fire, but
But he held his own.
he did held his own. I think we were all maybe expecting a little bit more because the goals weren't there or the stats weren't there that show up on the stat sheet. But he was doing other things on the field. But I feel like the little lackluster in the beginning maybe made us have some second guesses initially, and then he turned it up in the playoffs. Then he showed up, and then we're like, oh shit, this is the player that we knew this guy could be. We want him to stay here, and it's only until now, until there's been some murmurings of him wanting to stay. We're like, in Uruguay instead of being here. Then we're like, all right, do we really want guys who are like half in, half out of this project?
Right.
No one's questioning his talent or his ability at all. It's just a matter of, do you want to be here, and does Red Bull
100%.
want him to be here, and how badly?
Yes.
We got to find out sooner or later. We're going to be in a strange position in the middle of the summer.
Right.
Where
Again.
we need
Frank Amaya again.
We need to
Yep.
reconstruct
Yeah,
a contract. We have a big midfielder going out. There could be a lot of things happening.
All right, who's next?
All right, Daniel Edelman.
Oh,
Well, it's the easy one.
Keep or sell. Keep or sell.
what did you even bring that up for? Here's a keep.
Well, some people,
Are we
hold
going
on.
the whole roster?
Maybe he wants. He's not going to be seen in the national team. He's not getting the opportunity. Maybe he wants to move out.
That's a decision for him.
He's a guy. He's from here.
He's from Jersey. He's staying.
He's
He's
still-
You don't think he wants to play in Europe?
No.
of course.
I'm
Sure,
sure
not
he
yet.
does,
No,
but
listen.
he still has a couple of years that he needs to still,
So he still needs
I
to be
tell people
developed.
all the
He
time.
still needs to develop.
I think Edelman is more important to this team than Token.
Wow.
Oh yeah, because he's right in
Wow.
the middle of the field.
I tell people all the time, I think that in the MLS, guys should try to take the Nagby approach. Stay in the league and become an absolute savage, win somewhere, and people love you. Nagby, nobody can say a bad thing about Nagby.
Yeah.
He knows he's never going to see the national team again,
Well, that's his fault. So
but he's great in Columbus. I mean, como se llama? They love him. Everybody in the league loves him. Why not take that role of being an MLS goal?
Some
you
people
are-
have bigger aspirations than just staying in the
Yeah, but
the
you
US.
can aspire, and you could be Daniel Edelman.
Because you
wasting
know
away
what?
down
Because you
Jersey
know
Shore.
what? You can go take that leap, and if you fail, you always can come home.
No, right?
Yeah, I mean, I think you
gotta take that-
personally.
you gotta
I think
take that
you
chance.
have to take the risk.
You gotta take the chance.
You have
Because
to.
you know what? If you fail, you always come home.
Like, you don't think Darlington, like a couple years down the line, like, maybe I should have gone out for a year.
No.
I think you will.
I think he's a guy. I think he's a guy where he is content with his MLS legacy because he does have one.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
But here's the problem. The same thing with John Tolkien. If you're not consistently playing in Europe, if you're not getting those opportunities over there, you're not gonna get a call up. That's why John Tolkien wants to leave. You have to play in Europe. You have to go out there.
Yeah.
You have to.
Some-
100%.
and that
Why
is
are we
just-
just like accepting this as a fact, though?
Because John Tolkien
why-
is a perfect example.
It's
He's
just
not
the
getting
US
consistent
Listen,
call-ups.
listen,
It's the US
listen.
national team.
If the MLS is saying we're going to put DP regulations and under 22 regulations because we want Americans to come here in order to be able to play, for them to come to your league and not be able to play in the national team, what sense does that make? I feel like there should be more onus on the national team itself then to
Yes,
come out and
yes,
take a look at MLS
yes.
players. How many games has Pochettino pulled up to in the MLS?
The final. I think.
Yeah, he was at the final.
For the photo op?
It's just the quality of leagues. You know, that's just the only
Yeah.
thing. Like if you're looking at, you know, a guy like Pulisic balling out in Serie A,
Yeah.
like
Without a doubt.
it's,
Without a
it's-
doubt.
But then you look at a guy killing it in MLS, you're like, I guess it's MLS still. But if I see him go over to Europe and ball out, then maybe I have a different
Yeah, but when
opinion.
do we start to say like enough with that stigma? Like it's the MLS.
That's when the,
it's
that's when the
American
league.
soccer.
That's when the league brings in better players, and it's
That's
and
true.
and
So
evolves
so
itself.
it comes back to letting go of the DP and the U22 because
Yeah.
it's like the MLS is
We can just
begging
keep
the
going in a
national
circle,
team.
so-
That's it.
Yes.
It's like
It
the
comes back
MLS
to that
begging the
one
national
thing,
team,
so-
please take
Yeah,
our
yeah,
players,
exactly.
and then the national team being like, we're not going to take your players. It's like we just look stupid. We're cannibalizing ourselves.
Yep.
It's dumb.
No, it's true. I mean,
Especially when you look at MLS players from other countries going to their national team.
Yeah,
You're
yeah.
telling me that Scotland
Scotland
can
and
come look
Paraguay and
at Lewis
Chile.
Morgan to come play in a Euro, but we can't.
I mean, for
But
the
that took
Yeah.
some time though.
to be fair, they didn't want
Took
it.
some
right?
time. It happens.
And he was called up because
They
somebody
gave
was
him
injured.
They gave him the whatever. Come on.
But he was balling the fuck
No,
out.
yeah, of course he was balling out.
I think Ryan Gaul
see
deserved
him,
it more.
yeah, Gauls as well. Like those two guys are balling out in MLS, but they don't get a sniff because they're in MLS. 'Cause
Yeah.
No offense to
Bielsa
the league
too.
itself, like it's not compared to the Serie A, the Premier League, Bundesliga. It's come on, guys.
Yeah, Bielsa too. Don't even bother. Don't even bother going to North.
Like I like MLS,
You're
but like
staying
there's a clear
in Jersey.
difference in
You're not
quality.
coming to Uruguay.
there is, and it matters, generations of players who come
Exactly,
through.
yeah.
I remember Henri, was maybe last year, in 2014, we had a really good World Cup team, and he was saying that a lot of that team, the MLS players who came, were American MLS players on that team, were a lot better than the MLS Americans that are right now.
Oh, okay, yeah, he did
Okay,
say
so
that.
the
He did
guys
say
from 10 years ago who played in the MLS who are American are better than the
Connor
new guys.
Leigh, let's go.
The new
Yeah.
guys that are here now, and that's the struggle that they want to pick from here, but they're having second guesses. They're having thoughts of, hey, maybe is this guy cut for it? So maybe that goes into the decision, and that's what sucks because nobody wants to just do it for the club. Everyone's got some other prerogative. Oh, I want to get on the national team. Oh, I want to get seen. I need
maybe
more
a
money.
couple of years ago, Balogun also wouldn't be American back in 2014.
That was the biggest sham in all of fucking sports. They broke their balls to make this guy American, and he went out there and balls. No, I'm not a Balogun guy. I thought that whole shenanigan is fucking reckless.
True.
Jedi Robinson.
You
I
got a
mean,
point, and this is what they've been doing now. They've been trying to get these guys
So
who
it's
have
like,
a half
well,
passport.
what are we doing?
in
It's
the
like-
You know
States.
what I said to somebody they should do? I mean, listen, I know.
And that gives less opportunity to us.
Santi hasn't touched the ball in Uruguay. Make him fucking American and get Santi to be on the fucking.
They want Luciano Costa to be American, but he wants to leave.
Well, Lucho Acosta didn't even show up for FC Cincinnati.
he can't show up to America.
He didn't show up. I'm being
You're right.
serious.
Yeah.
He wants to go play at Boca or wherever
yeah.
the hell he wants to go
Yep,
play.
in Argentina.
And Driussi too didn't show up for Austin because they all reported already.
Yeah, you
Driussi
That's a bad look
Well,
for the
he's
league too.
He's trying to get
Terrible look for the league.
Terrible.
So that's
look
what I'm
for the
saying.
league.
we focus a lot on Red Bulls here, but the league is still not where I think it's supposed to be.
Good point.
I really don't think so.
Because financially, that's why we'll never see relegation. Because financially, these teams have invested so much to be a risk of losing it all. It's like, you're not going to tell Robert Kraft, like, no. If your team doesn't get in the fucking 10th place, you're going to be playing in fucking Montclair? Balls. Balls. You're not going to tell them that.
No, especially how much they invested.
No way.
Yeah.
Dude, that's the biggest problem. That now the nut is so big that you can't play these games anymore
To be
financially.
fair, if they keep expanding like they're doing, they could eventually do it.
Well,
themselves.
didn't the Apple CEO said that he wants MLS teams or the league to
That was
invest?
the biggest dub. That old Apple shit's because you have to pay Messi's nut. The truth of the matter is, if you want to grow this thing, like that derby, the playoff derby, should have been on Fox 5.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, it should have been everywhere.
It should have been everywhere.
It wasn't even in Times Square.
No,
That's crazy.
They
Oh, they did?
No. The final was in
The
Times
final,
Square.
but that should have been in
wasn't in Times Square. But Messi, he got a night.
I saw an interview of some guy saying it was a Galaxy guy. He's followed more of whatever the women's team out there in LA is because they're free to watch. The only game he's watched from the Galaxy so far was the final because it was on Fox Sports.
Wow.
And he's a soccer guy. He'll go to the female LA. I don't know whatever the team is out there, but he'll watch their games. We're just cannibalizing viewership. We're
LA
cannibalizing
Rams.
the product on the field. It's like what.
The only thing they have
who
out there is the merchandise and the branding. That's all. You can see it on the walls, you see it here, but that's about it.
That Apple shit is for the birds.
Stupid.
Let me
Stupid.
get.
I mean, you gotta come to Veritage to watch it.
Yeah.
Come to Veritage
Shout out to
watch it.
Mark and
No,
Heritage,
I'm not
man.
even kidding. But a spot like this is the start of the beginning of something new of an American culture.
And it goes for everything here, bro. You want to watch the MLS, you got to pay $15 a month. You want to watch Champions League, you got to pay $15 a month for Paramount. You want to watch whatever it is, you got to pay for ESPN. You want to watch
But it's every sport. So you just because listen,
It's ridiculous.
So on the other end, devil's advocate. On the other end of it, I pay to watch my Cowboys every week.
Yeah, but you'll do it
I
because
gotta
it's
watch
the
the
NFL.
Yankees. You gotta do it for every sport. So why are people crying? I know
But
why
now-
people are crying. Because it's not big enough yet and they shouldn't have gotten cute.
True.
Yeah.
But the truth of the matter is, you brought in the second best player in the world and you needed to pay his nut.
He said second best.
I'm with him on second best.
That's what it is. So that's what it is. So if they don't have to pay that nut, everybody's watching it on TV. The biggest problem was Messi brought a big bag that they had to figure out how they're going to come up with the bag. Apple, Adidas, the fake Jake Paul water, you name it.
Well, like whatever, they'll do a crazy little dance as long as you
The guy doesn't even do press. He doesn't do anything.
nothing.
Bro, the
Nothing.
guy was given the purple badge of whoever the hell by Joe Biden. He said, ya tengo compromiso, no puedo.
He said the assistant. He said the assistant.
He didn't even show up to the White House, and here we are bending over backwards for this
Yep.
guy.
Yeah.
Joe Biden.
Yeah.
Joe Biden!
What else we got? What
All
else
right.
we got?
Last two names. Carlos Coronel. Keep or sell?
Keep, 100%.
We can do it quick.
Hold
Just
on.
keep for now.
Dan just licked his lips. So he's got some shit to say, but I'm saying he's got to stay.
I'll be the only one to say so. He's on it. This is his last year. I don't think he gets another deal. He might just walk as a free agent. Why not just get what you can from him? And then you just re-sign Ryan Mara. You got AJ Marcucci coming back. I think both those guys are MLS quality keepers. Why not?
So you don't think there's a step down at all between...
I mean, we saw Ryan Merritt go in.
I really want to see it.
Ryan Merritt, listen, listen. I love him.
No offense, he might still be.
I love him. I wear his
He
jersey.
can still play.
I wear his jersey every single
But he
game.
wouldn't
It's
even
become
be my
part of the
starter.
brand. Ryan Merritt is not starting for the New York Red Bulls in 2025.
Yeah.
He'd
You
be
got-
my backup. I would start AJ Marcucci.
Yeah.
I
But
want to
even
see
now,
AJ more. I need to see him.
I think AJ Marcucci
We need to
in
see
front-
him.
behind his defense. I
What
think
about
he could be a top end keeper in this league.
The younger guy that everybody wants him. The
Aiden
way-
Stokes.
And he's 17.
17,
He's got to marinate at Red Bull too.
Okay.
And we
He's
just
got a couple more years.
And we just let go of the other Dallas. We let go of.
Well, yeah, he's like that. He's like the.
We let him
veteran.
go,
He's
though,
a-
no?
Yeah, he's a little veteran down in Red Bull too. They swap those guys in every year. But
do they?
yeah, But
You sell,
yeah,
right?
that would be my plan. AJ Mancucci, starter.
Wow, that's crazy.
But I don't
like
think
that hot
happens.
take.
I
Is
think
that hot take?
I think Carlos stays, but I would sell him.
All right.
And last guy?
Did you say?
I
He said keep.
Carlos
He said
stay.
keep.
But-
Keep.
Yeah,
Yeah,
simple
that's-
phone, bro.
Yeah, we have to sell. We have to sell Carlos Coronel. How many of them? I think
Carlos
everybody
has
has
to
been
say
sold. There's a reason why he was a starter for Paraguay. Then they dropped him as a second for the second role.
I think they just dropped him because of the coach. I think he's better than who's starting right now for Paraguay.
No, that guy, the first guy for Paraguay is much better.
I
He
mean-
plays in a tougher league. It's Brazilian
You
league.
sure about that? Because they were losing with him.
Look, Carlos Coronel doesn't secure you a clean sheet all the time. We have what, like 5, 6
Yeah, we didn't have
in the
as many.
season?
I mean-
He's not consistent.
In big
Those
games,
are all
you-
draws. A lot of draws.
With a lot of goals on his name.
Yeah.
I mean, how many goals do you say those are Carlos's fault?
True.
At
Yeah.
least
Oh, the 2
40
final.
to 50
okay, okay.
Biggest game of the year.
Take-
You're gonna
take-
fucking let those
Again,
fucking
taking
goals-
those
That was the worst.
I
Bro,
think that
Carlos-
Smacked around by NYCFC. Let's not forget that.
Yeah, and that one of them or two of them were
At
his
home, at home, you got smacked around.
Hey man, one of
Like
the best
nasty.
defensive.
I drank that one away already. It's gone from the memory.
It's all right. We
But,
still have the red winning.
No, the amount of times that Carlos saves us, you're crazy, bro. Especially
In the shootout,
dude.
Come on.
Especially like last year, Carlos was our defense basically. This past season, did he struggle at times? Yeah. Did he get criticized a lot? Yeah. But when it mattered the most, and again with the asterisks of the final, he was on another level, bro. He was on another level.
But I'm gonna tell you another reason why we should sell him, because he doesn't want to be here.
Yeah.
Keep that. He doesn't.
No,
Is that because all his hombres are
I don't
leaving?
even think he knows where
Hombres is crazy. Hombres.
Yeah,
Hombres are leaving.
all his boys. They saw that they ship Elias Manuel out. Brazilians
Reyes.
out. Reyes.
Carballo.
The Latin
out.
Americans.
Inglés sin barreras. bro.
Iglesia and Barreras.
You gotta
We're starting to
learn
be.
Spanish.
Who's left? That's all I'm serious.
He's gonna be talking to the wall in the locker room. He's not gonna have to
Inglés sin barreras cassettes.
Who's the last one?
All right, and the last one, Lewis Morgan.
You know me. I got him. Lois, I don't give a shit. Your leg falls off. You got no legs. I want you on the team.
No leg, Lewis.
That's it.
You're
That's a
staying.
sentimental one.
I must be the asshole. So like,
No, I think
No, I
think sports. Give him the raise.
I think in the circumstances, what you probably could get from him from a UK team, I'd sell him. I would take that money,
Damn near sell the whole
reinvest
team.
it into
easiest
it.
guy.
Into the starter.
Thank God he's not the GM.
We would have a lot of money, but we'd have no players.
Play both games.
This guy's quick selling and buying
because
FIFA
you know
packs,
what?
bro.
No, because you know what?
We can bring in Fitz.
My big brain move is you sell Dante, you sell Lewis,
For how many years has Lewis?
wait, and then you buy Timo Werner.
Oh!
Bring in
That's a big
Timo.
brain play.
You can't hear.
That's the big brain
Oh,
play.
you got to run that back. Wow.
The big brain play. You sell Dante, you sell Lewis, and you buy Timo Werner. I think, I think Tottenham are gonna. They might not cut the loan short, but they're not gonna buy him. He's gonna go back to Leipzig. Leipzig don't want him.
No.
Timo
I
Werner
think-
is worse than Dante Mencier,
No,
bro.
no,
Come
no,
on, man.
Don't do that.
He's
Don't do
another
that.
guy that
No,
block,
no, no,
that
no,
can't
no.
shoot,
Stop.
He-
can't shoot
No, no,
between
no,
the
no, no, no.
goalposts, man.
He's Elias Manuel that can actually score.
Oh, dude,
He's
without
got
a
that
doubt,
pace.
Without a doubt.
I would love Timo Werner to come here. I mentioned it a few times.
But who's your guy?
I'm surprised more people aren't talking about that. But I mean, I have my own guy, but
Poulsen.
it's not going to happen. What would be Poulsen?
I
The
know,
Danish,
yeah. I
the
would've said
Danish
that.
left wing.
I would have
and
said that before he
and he
resigned.
would be Lewis's replacement if he leaves, because Poulsen also plays up left wing. Very good relationship with Forsberg.
Here's the thing. Here's the thing with Timo that I feel like we have to understand. This guy was lauded to be like the next big thing, right? Goes to Tottenham. You're telling me that now he's going to get sent to Leipzig, and Leipzig's going to be like, we don't want you, and he's going to end up here, and he's going to be happy to be here and excited
No
and
pressure.
super ready to come and ball out.
There's no real pressure.
I think
There's no real
Yeah.
pressure.
the timing of a player like that finally coming here to the MLS
And he began
at that
bread.
time
To
would
find
be
his
a
legs
home run.
again?
Like, no, there's a couple people where I always bring up that I'm like, they've avoided the MLS, but now's the time for them to start to come. For example, I think like him, Onospina, I think is a goalie that could be here in the MLS.
I could see
Cuadrado is a guy I always say that could be here, playing
that's a
here.
good call.
James has been avoiding the MLS.
He just signed.
I know. I mean, but he's a guy that's, I don't know how he's avoided. Mario Balotelli, another guy. I don't know how he's avoided the MLS.
He's still playing?
He's
okay.
He's for TSC, bro.
And he's barely playing over there too. He's already
This
annoyed.
is what I'm saying.
I think
So
Ospina has to be at San Diego for the inaugural season. I feel like that was
Dude, let me tell you something. If the Red Bull were smart, with how close you are to Elizabeth and the Colombian population,
100%. I've been
you
saying
should
that.
be having, dude. I don't know how NYCFC didn't
Chicharrón
make
en aguardiente,
Yo, I don't know how they didn't make a play like a James.
And that's
you
what-
play in Queens half the season.
You don't want to play at a baseball stadium.
Well, that's the thing with these teams, and I mentioned to you before that I don't know if it's like these teams not even approaching these players, or they're not even considering some of these guys, or those guys aren't even considering coming to the league. Like, hey, I have a no MLS clause. Doesn't matter what team you are. You could be LA, New York, Seattle. I'm not coming to MLS. Like some guys just have that. I don't know why certain guys value the league more than others. That's a stigma that I'd like to find out more about with some of the
Here's the
players.
thing, just with the New York area. Like, if guys are coming here, they don't want to come here and have to face a cold January, right? Like, if they're coming to the MLS, I feel like the number one draw is going to be California or Miami because nice weather and they can come and get a nice house for like, it's not a massive draw to be in New York, to be in the cold. I just don't see. Yeah, we're the biggest city in the world, or one of, but I just don't see the draw of European players coming and living here. If they're coming here,
I want Griezmann.
Griezmann would be massive. I would love
It'd be
Griezmann.
him or
I would love
Werner.
Griezmann.
That'd be my
Dude, if
my two
Griezmann
guys.
came to New York,
Griezmann,
You
baby.
know-
New York.
And by the way, you know,
he's always here already.
by the way, you know, almost all of the sports teams are the New York teams.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Griezmann,
Love
come
New
to New York.
Come to New York, play for the Rebels. All right, and the last thing, we're just gonna finish up predictions for the season. Where does the Red Bull finish in 2025?
I'll give you a hot take right now. I think we make playoffs, we win one round, and we get bounced in the second round. I'll tell you why, because we have the target on our back. It's a changed team. Yes, Sandro will give us that boost, but I feel like some of the weaknesses are still there, and I think we'll just come up short. We'll win a playoff game, but following up that finals appearance is hard. You see it a lot in sports. It translates maybe in football or basketball, but in soccer and MLS, you see so much parity in this league. I think maybe the year after will be our year, but I think this next season might be one more year of learning. I say second round exit, unfortunately.
Actually, I'm agreeing with that.
That's acceptable.
Okay, I think, and I hope I'm wrong for your guys' sake.
We're not making the playoffs.
That's what I think.
Whoa!
I'm worried. I'm worried. Here's why. No. Here's why.
A team that's made it 15 times in a
No,
row.
no, but here's
14,
why,
right?
here's why.
14, 15.
15.
But here's why. I think that you have a lot. There's a lot that's going to be happening right now. There could be a situation where everybody wants to be Michael Jordan, bro. Somebody has to be Scottie Pippen, and I think that could be a situation that you have with a lot of guys. You know, I think we spoke about it earlier. You got to make sure that you have a good relationship in the locker room. If that all works out, this team has all the potential. We saw.
Yeah.
But if for some reason things don't start off like that and guys already start to give up, you're back on the struggle train. Those draws are now losses. The fans are turning their back. They're calling for Sandro's head. That's what worries me with this team. They have the potential to be you're not surprised if they win, and you're not surprised if they're in last place.
Yeah, it's the strangest thing. It really is a strange. This team is almost like an anomaly in that way, but we had been waiting for that finals run for a while. It should have probably happened a few years ago. It just so happened to happen this
2018
past
actually.
year, and we needed a guy of his higher caliber like Forsberg, who's won the cups in Germany, to bring us to a final. So if we don't sign somebody like a Fitz or bring in someone big like a Timo Werner or a Poulsen, I know I'm reaching for the stars here a little bit, we're not going to reach that cup final and be the favorite
Agreed.
and have that home game.
Agreed.
We're going to be, let's cross our fingers that we can make another run. And that, obviously, as you can tell out of the 15 years we make playoffs, doesn't bode so well. Yeah, you might get lucky and go on this run, but to actually be favored and be winning, I don't know. We need more. We need more from Red Bull.
Is Area Sports Network hiring? You gotta get this guy out.
I'll say.
They're not gonna have the bread after they give it.
I'll stick with him in a MLS playoffs. I think second round you get there. It's tough to win in the playoffs. We've seen it every year. Red Bull got the bounces to go their way to make the final. I think it's going to be a bit tougher this year. I'll say second round as well, but I'll do another caveat. I think in one of the cup competitions, I think we make a final. I don't know if we win it, but in U.S. Open Cup or Leagues Cup, I think
Good
they
point.
take that experience from the playoffs, and because those finals will happen earlier in the year, I think they can take a run like MLS Cup final and translate that into a Leagues Cup, get to a final or whatever they're in, U.S. Open Cup, Leagues Cup. I think they can get to a final.
Joe, before you go, these three guys have mentioned. You mentioned. You didn't even mention the playoffs.
We've been going so long, the battery died.
Remember, you're a Red Bull fans. I'm a Red Bull fans. You're gonna be satisfied without winning any silverware?
Listen, I've been staying quiet because I think that we are on the precipice of something great.
Here we go.
Okay.
I think that this year was a surprise, a much welcomed surprise. But if you told us at the beginning of the season that we'd make it there when we were top 3, we'd be like, okay, maybe we could see it. I think that this was a great learning experience. I think for both Emil, Sandro, first year guys here, for a lot of the young guys who went on their first deep run, talking to Cam, talking to Noah, those two guys that I've had the pleasure to have on the podcast. I think that this is the year. I think with Hack coming in, bringing that experience to the defense, Emil in the middle, Choupo-Moting up top, having a golden boot type of performance this year.
Right, I forgot.
I think that we are going
golden
to end up in the top 3 in the East. I think that we know how important it is. I think that we're going to have a lot more home games. I think we're going to have a lot more fan buy-in this year. I'm hoping and trusting and believing that Red Bull Arena is going to be the fortress again that it once was, Sports Illustrated Stadium. I think that the investment is here. I think that it's all coming together. And this time, 20 years ago, Toronto lost to the Seattle Sounders in the MLS Cup final. The following year, it was the same final, this time in Toronto. That's why this year, it's going to be the same final.
10 years ago.
2006, no?
No.
2016.
16.
10 years ago, my bad.
Safe.
I think it's going to be the same final. New York Red Bulls, LA Galaxy. We play them this year at home. We'll play them again at home. Sports Illustrated Stadium. Thierry Henry there. Bradley Wright Phillips there. Packed house. The New York Red Bulls 2026 MLS Cup champions.
Wait, no, 2026, 2025.
2025.
No, he said 26. So my
prediction is
my
right.
prediction is right. We
It's a
get
combination.
bounce first, second round, then the next year. The only thing that is that we didn't have to play Messi. We can thank Atlanta for that, but we did go through a good test with Columbus.
Inter
New York
Miami is
City,
going
and
to take
then-
the biggest drop at this year. Mascherano at the head.
I hope so.
Miami is not going to be the Miami. NYCFC isn't going to be nearly as good. If Cincinnati loses a Kocha, forget about it. Fuck everybody else, bro. The New York Red Bulls.
Listen, our window just opened. Like you said, if we were top 3 this past season, so we were seeing signs.
If we
this is
play
our
together
window.
and with that heat and the togetherness and come out and drop our balls, being like, we're the Eastern Conference champions, you guys are coming after us, and we put that target on our back, forget about it. On
100%.
our day,
The easiest for the taking, right?
on our day, if everybody is playing to their best ability on our day, I take us against anybody in the league.
100%.
I don't care.
I'll give us the Forsberg, moment. Like we have for him, for as long as he stays, can he bring us MLS Cup? That's our window.
Forsberg and Royce have never won the league. Royce won it last year,
Dan's
or this
going
past
crazy
year.
over there in his head. Dan's like a fucking chemist. I see him. He's
I'm
putting
just saying.
together
I think
something.
that's our window for as long as Forsberg's here, which is I just think in these next 2 years.
But that's where they brought him for.
So these next 2
100%.
years, I think we need
Brought him to
MLS
win.
Cup.
They brought him to win.
These
They didn't bring him for second
if
place.
not this year, then next year we need an MLS Cup, and that would be huge. 2026, New York Red Bulls in the final, and that summer where the World Cup was here. Whew. I
Nobody
mean,
give a shit.
I'm just saying, you could gain a lot more momentum.
I don't think we are a championship team yet.
Yeah.
But what I do have to say is that Jokin and Mario are weeding out the weakness in the team, right? They're getting rid of the players who just simply weren't doing well or doing good enough. But I think that as in a playoff format, now Sandro knows what it's like to play in this in MLS playoffs. So he's gonna use that as a springboard to be prepared. But at the end of the day, we need somebody who can replace Forsberg because he cannot give you 90 minutes of a top performance. That's just simply not him.
Yeah.
So this
older.
Fitz guy needs to be here this season.
Yeah.
And we have to use the time. The time is running out. Emil Forsberg is getting older.
Yeah.
You know, he's more thinking about, trying to go back to his family, retiring. He's not. No, I'm being honest. I'm being honest. His head wasn't 100% there. Yeah, I probably ruined my whole speech right now.
He's not getting accepted for season.
I'm not gonna see you guys next year, but there's a lot of things happening, but you need somebody to back him up. And if Fitz doesn't come in, I don't think Wiki Carmona is the guy that's gonna lead us to the championship.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
Fair enough.
All right, how are we
Here's
signing
the
off?
thing though. How are you saying that Chupo's going to be the guy to finish the chances that Dante hasn't finished, and now you say that we're not going to make the playoffs?
No, because
Wait.
I think
He could get hurt.
I think that there's a lot. You guys are banking a lot on these guys to come in and be bullish. Listen,
Yeah.
the chances are there. We saw that the team was like, you guys could have finished higher on the table. There were so many chances that Dante missed. There were so many chances Elias missed where those draws could have been wins.
Yeah.
If you have a situation like that, you guys are fucked this year. You guys aren't going to be able to survive another season with 47 draws. There's no doubt in my mind.
Yeah.
They're especially at home.
The only thing with not
no
missing,
way.
the only thing with not
that's
missing
the
the
thing,
playoffs is
Chupo's
just too
gonna
many
be there to
teams
score
make
him
it.
then.
It's the only
You
reason
have
why.
to hope. And if he's a bust, if he comes in as Dante 2 with a 10, you're a hit. If he comes in and he's Dante with a 10, you guys are hit. You guys are hit.
Look,
The only thing is 9 teams make the playoffs, so I'm not worried about making
Everybody
playoffs.
makes the fuck. I put 11 guys together last year. That's MLS. Everybody makes the
Hey,
playoffs.
but this was fun, guys.
Yeah,
No,
no,
this
this
is
was good. We got to do more of this roundtable. Thank you, Veritage, for
Shout
giving
out-
us a space.
Yeah,
shout out
Veritage.
Everybody's
Let's
got to
go.
come here to games. Great football.
Hey,
hub.
opening night. Let's get something going.
I'll personally be here opening night. I don't know if any of you guys out there have watched the vlogs. I'll be out here vlogging the whole thing here at Veritage. So if you guys want to come out, be in the vlogs, I'll be here recording. Chris will be
Mark.
here. We'll all be having a good
yeah,
time
shout
here.
out to Mark. We're gonna
Shout
bring
out
out
to
Mark
Mark
right here. Mark.
Pop up right here.
Shout out Mark.
Like that.
Anything you want to say to the fans?
Yeah, for the season coming up.
We got big things going on. These guys hung out while I busted my ass upgrading all the TVs.
Did a great job. Great job.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, so come by for a match and hang out with other fans. It's a vibe, as George would say.
That's it.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, hopefully we'll see you guys
We
here.
got some new
Yeah.
TVs in here too. We were doing
some-
only 2 at a screen.
Some
Now
new
we got
TVs, new
everywhere.
beers, man. There's a
Thank
lot.
you-
There's a
thank you
lot
for the
going
hospitality,
on.
brother.
Yeah, anytime, man.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Awesome.
this is a place to
We
be.
got to stop
So
and exchange beer.
yeah, 100%.
Yeah, man.
We gotta do that. We gotta do
You
that.
need me to do it, though.
Yeah. I got you.
All right, guys. So we're signing off. Thank you so much for listening. We'll
you,
see
guys.
you soon in February.
Drop in the comments if you guys want more stuff like this. Do we make,
Vamos,
do we make
Red
this a
Bull.
weekly talk? What are we saying?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
weekly. Should be a
Let's
weekly.
try
Weekly talk, yeah?
Bi-weekly.
Air Sports Network. Come.
By the way, we've been speaking for like 2 hours. I
Yeah.
don't think I've ever spoke to anybody for 2 hours.
I feel like Joe Rogan over here.
That's sad. All right, that was a wrap on